Payment gateway. Actually for adult industry.
I got that impression, yeah.
Yeah. I've been to a few conferences in Miami.
Really?
Yeah, with all those creators.
One of the mics are on now. We got to talk more about that. That sounds like interesting.
It was a good, interesting experience.
All right, let's just give it a bit. We're still early. Give some people some time to get here. Let's see who's here. Steve. What's up, Steve?
Do you know anyone from this accelerator program who already launched the product?
About 40% have launched the email newsletter. About 50% of them have begun making money off the newsletter. So yeah, it breaks down to 20%. Huh?
From the accelerator?
From the newsletter, from the accelerator. Yeah. They already started making some money from the newsletter. I would say the people, I don't want to say furthest behind, but because it's not a behind thing. But I'd say there's still, across the 3 classes, 10 people who are in the stage you're in, still back and forth with the supplier trying to dial it in. Of them, all of them thought they were going to go with one product while they were in the accelerator, and then change their product. And I think you did too.
Not really.
Because in the beginning there was a different product you were.
No, I changed during the accelerator program.
Right.
But then we finalized, and I'm still with it.
Okay, but most of the people that are in that stage right now, they changed what they wanted to go after for the better.
Yeah, and maybe I changed a little bit, and right now, like with my product, we can have very like wide. We have a room to extend the line, the product line. Yes.
This is the week, huh?
Huh?
4.
This should be like considered launch week, right?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think it's towards the end of this week when everything starts piling in. So good.
Yeah, I mean, I know, I saw stuff hit our inventory.
Yeah, but it's still being dispersed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's checking in, but it needs to disperse so there's enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Exciting.
A lot of work, man.
I'm willing to bet. I'm willing to bet that their products. Well, when he's ready to share what his product is, but their launch is going to be the one we're going to be talking about for, like one of the good ones in the group.
Okay.
Everything that was done correctly was done.
Yeah, we spent some significant time on like packaging.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Maybe too much.
And I saw. Well, with hindsight, there's always ways to the better. You could have shortened things with hindsight, but what I saw some of the videos actually including the product now.
Yeah, yeah, we got some samples.
So, bro, good,
How are you?
really good. I saw.
Yeah, she wanted to like sneak it in there. I'm like, yeah, go for it.
Yeah, done good. Yeah, done good. If you guys get to the point where you're ready to share what it is openly, I'm gonna, and I'm still doing this kind of on the back end as I'm telling people, buy it full price and I'll reward it. But to do that, I gotta say,
Yeah.
right.
Hold on a little bit. Let's get a couple numbers in our about there.
Yeah. We plan on being an influencer video.
Okay. Leave some spots to look at ourselves.
Yeah. What else is new?
crazy issues with, I don't know, the brand registry wasn't linking or something. It was weird.
You've had two of the strangest, one with your other brand and this one, like, for everybody else, brand registry is like a click.
Yes.
And for you guys, it's like this dance.
Yeah. But it didn't make any sense because it was like I did all the information, it showed up on our account. I'm like, great, we're done. We even did like A+ content. We were like doing all these things that you wouldn't have access to if you did a brand registry.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was trying to do, I did some buying here last week, so
Yep.
I should talk about. But I went to do like buying, and it's like, oh, you're not a registered brand.
You know what, there are issues with Amazon, as I know, because I'm in the chat, like there were like 300 Amazon sellers, and they were saying there were issues probably with those data centers. Yeah, because yesterday or the day before yesterday, like 10 people reported that all their product went out of stock for like an hour. Probably it's related. to
I can see
some-
that.
I mean, like technical issues.
Yeah.
One of them.
It was weird because it was showing up like it shows the brand.
You get some more gray.
Yeah, more for the brand.
You do. I will say, as a friendly observation, the last 2 weeks that I've seen you, you look more stressed than you normally look.
Maybe.
Like you seem preoccupied. Like there's something else on your mind. I don't know. Just you can pull me to the side whenever to chat. Yeah, but it would be normal if that was. We were just talking about it. He was just saying I'm here and then I'm here. And like
The same day.
Yeah, the same day. Regarding this product, I mean that's complete.
I feel pretty. I mean, we're doing everything we need to do.
The product's
I feel good.
gorgeous.
Thank
You have to admit, you put that product next to any other product on that page, that's the clear winner.
Yeah. Pretty
Yeah.
solid. Yeah. Thank you.
I am very proud of that product.
Moving forward, try it.
Yeah.
That's one of those products, and I had something to do with the idea stage of it.
Mhm.
It's one of those products that I look at it now that it's come to life, and it's one of those ones I've had in my head that was like, on a rainy day, you know, if wifey approves me to launch one of those, this would be one. Obviously, I would never launch it now, but I look at it now, and there's almost like a little bit in the back, like, damn, this is exactly what it would have looked like. Like,
Or you still doing the gummy bear worms?
I still plan on doing it. Yeah,
Yeah, that's a kick-ass.
I think it'll be great too. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see that.
Yeah. I'm doing like the same way, like last week I got up here and I think it was last week and I was grilling you and I was like, those are excuses. You need to do this and you need to do this. But it's very easy to say when you're saying it to somebody else, but when you try to apply it to yourself, if someone was to like have me sit out there and them come up here, even with everything that I've done, and be like, where are you at on your brand? Like, what progress have you made on the gummy? You know what I mean? I'd be like, I'm deciding on a brand name. You know, I'm between this one, and this is my reasoning. And I'd be like, if someone would have told me that, I'd say, okay, give yourself until the end of day Sunday and decide. I've been doing it for months.
But it helped. In those last 2 weeks, I made more than like the last 2 months.
Yeah.
So I think we had a topic that, I think it was topic for plans for goals for the year, and you said like find a like supervisor who will like.
An accountability partner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if someone is like not even pushing, but asking you like what is the problem, like you can do it like.
You want to find an accountability partner, and you want to put yourself in accountability settings. So an accountability setting or an accountability group, that's this. That's, you know, when you come back around, someone's going to ask you what's up on that last thing. Like he's asking me, like you're still going to do the, you know. So I have to. How are you? Welcome. I'm Carlos. Drop in wherever you'd like. Yeah.
Thank you. Hi, guys.
So there's an accountability aspect to that he's doing to me without even like probably thinking that that's what he's doing.
I didn't mean like that. Yeah.
No, but it's good. That's good. I'm not like superhuman. You know what I mean? Like I need help too. And so you want to have that, but then you want to have something that's a little more dialed in. That's an accountability partner, but that's not a paid coach. I mean, I always have paid coaches. Like to this day, like I keep several paid coaches. I keep a mentor. Coaching is good, but there's different things you would use a coach for than an accountability partner. As a matter of fact, if you have an accountant, like say you and Chris are accountability partners, and your thing is once a week, you're going to do basically what we did last week. And that's like, okay, what are you stuck on? This, and this. Okay, you got until Tuesday to solve that. And then when you check back in, you need to say why you did that or you didn't. If you also had a coach, I'm not saying you should get one right now, but if you also had like a paid coach or a consultant, when you get to that stage with the coach or the consultant, you're wasting less time and you're talking on less petty things because you're hitting it. You're able to go a little deeper and get more mileage out of it. I don't know, that's my 2 cents.
Actually, it helps. I'm thinking about sometimes when you when you don't come to meet us, when you don't talk to anyone who's related to Amazon business or e-commerce business,
Hold on a second.
it's like, I would not say you forget about it, but you're not like in focus.
Right.
But when you have like those conversations every week here, then I talk to my wife when we like discussing our product, like talking to other Amazon sellers like every week. You're like, you're moving, you're thinking about it all the time. You're like,
It's important, man.
yeah.
Everything around us is, I hope this doesn't sound too conspiratorial, but like everything around us is designed to distract. Our inboxes, our social media, like everything's designed, commercials, everything's designed to take our attention and take it in a different direction. And people with big money and big budgets are being paid to do that, like to get our time. So to stay focused on something that is giving you frustration, which is growing a brand or starting a business or whatever, it's very difficult. So having an accountability partner is just, I think it's a way of you taking control, saying, hey, I understand that I'm kind of, my attention's under assault from all these different things, but this is a priority for mine so that it doesn't just disappear or drag on for 3 years. Let me just have somebody that I can check into. And the other thing is, most people don't have that. And the reason they don't do it is no one wants to be the first person to reach out to the other person and say, hey man, like you want to be in, like, oh, he wants an accountability partner and you want an accountability partner. But the likelihood of you guys getting together and saying, you want to do this and set this up is very small. So like, he probably wants that, she might want an accountability partner. Like everybody does, but no one wants to be the first one to make that Chris is like, Chris is like, he's talking to me because I ain't gonna be the first.
We need to create a separate group of that.
Now, well, you can stay part of the group. You still want to keep the group setting. You just want to have something else, where you're checking in with each other on the side. That's it. I'll stop hitting on that. If you see any questions come up in there, let me know because I'm not paying attention. But I guess we'll officially get started now. While everybody else is on the way. We're going to get into our beginner hour now. And we used to not have a beginner hour, believe it or not. And when we didn't, like imagine if the topic of the week this week, which is 10 things to do, 10 optimizations you can make to your Amazon listing to crush your launch. If that was what we were starting with at 1, like we used to, this place is full at 10 minutes to 1. But since the topic of the week doesn't start till 2 and the first hour is a beginner hour, and people know that, they start straggling in throughout the 1 o'clock hour, especially the more experienced seller or somebody that doesn't have like a burning question for the beginner hour. All right, so by the way, just some housekeeping. The snacks, the coffee, all of that, coffee's fresh, the empanadas and everything are fresh. What's up, bro? Good. Help yourself to them. It's courtesy of our sponsors, which you'll see coming out there on the bottom ticker. We're blessed to have some pretty amazing yeah, absolutely. We're blessed to have some pretty amazing sponsors in the group that allow us to keep the show going. Like you see here, this group's been going on now for 12 years, which is absolutely mental to me. Also push it in the middle, top. Yeah, that. Is it? The bathrooms are right there, for you guys want to know. As soon as you come out, there's 2 of them, both of them immediately on the right. And Chris made a good suggestion. When we go from 1 to 2, we'll take like a 5-minute break so everybody can get more coffee or food or a little bathroom break or anything like that. Our beginner hour is meant to just cover some group news, like some new stuff that's going on, and also prioritize beginner questions. You could be an experienced seller, but there's say you've never worked with virtual assistants. So you can come in and you could ask some basic questions regarding that subject. So a new area that you might be getting into. One announcement that I want to make is that on the 4th, April 4th, which I believe is a Saturday if I'm getting that date right, we have a meetup announcement. We have a meetup group. We have a meetup event scheduled. However, Michael Morejón from the group shared with me that there's also an event happening in Miami. I believe it's $12 a ticket, which is like social media for e-commerce event in Wynwood. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move the current event we have on the 4th to a different date, and I'm gonna turn that into, we used to do field trips kind of often, and I realized last year we didn't. So we used to jokingly refer to them as Wizards in the Wild. So I'm gonna make the event that day. The event's from 12 to 7. I'll be there before 12. You don't have to stay till 7, but it's more of like a conference style social media for e-commerce. I think it's a good opportunity for us to change it up, change up the scenery a little bit. Wynwood, maybe afterwards we can find a little hole in the wall in Wynwood and get something to eat. But keep an eye on that change. I'll make announcements next week as well. At some point this week, it'll actually be publicly announced on the meetup group. The podcast, I know I've been talking about it for a bit. We're working on some final touches for the video element of the podcast that will be here, but I'm going to prioritize. I took a break, which turned into like almost a year from the podcast while we moved to this facility, and I thought about the podcast a lot, and I wanted to retool it, and I no longer want to have people that are like the popular people to have on the podcast. We've done that. Not that you guys are not popular, but I want to prioritize members from the group. I know that for some of you that might be like an intimidating thing, because you'd be like, oh my God, I don't know enough to be on the podcast. We're going to frame the episodes as like an under the hood, like how I imagine Chris, like you and Ting come on and talk about your journey to date and the new PL, and like let's check in again in, I don't know, 4 to 6 months to see where you guys are at, good or bad. Like let's check in, stuff like that, kind of like under the hood type series that I think will allow everyone in the group to get to know each other, because you'll be listening to something, it's like, oh my God, I've always wondered what this guy's story is, or this woman's story is, and also I think increase that accountability, because man, everybody knows where I'm at. I said that we're going to be working on this. When I come back on the show in 6 months, I want to be there or more. So stay tuned for that. And even though me reaching out saying, hey, do you mind coming as a guest on the podcast might sound a little intimidating, the show is not a gotcha show. The whole idea, the whole premise of the show is sellers helping sellers, and it's to make you look good, okay? Alex, you got one coming, so.
Of course.
Yeah. What else? Well, you saw who came last week?
Yeah, actually I messaged him today if he's coming. He didn't reply, so I'm assuming he's not coming today.
Yeah, that was a good.
I met him in a while, a couple of times, but
Yeah,
yeah.
he's good people.
Yeah.
We destroyed his listing. It was after he sent. Last week was a listing teardown. You were here.
Yeah, we talked after the meetup, and he was like, "Oh my."
Yeah, so
terrible, but-
last.
Was one of his listings?
Well,
Yeah.
he submitted apparently a listing first, but he sent it to me on Discord, and I didn't see it. So we roasted the listings that I saw, and then at the end he's like, "Hey, what about me?" We had already cut the stream, so I was like, "You sent me one?" I was like, "Oh, absolutely." So we did it here. It was brutal.
That's good.
It is good, but it was brutal, and it was deserved in a few cases. Like there was like pretty massive. There was misspellings within major keywords, not within major keywords. That's come on. But I think he's going to be able to. No, he's definitely, if he applies those things, he's going to majorly level up the listing. So that's the whole point of it. He said something afterwards.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, it's disaster. But the good,
It's a disaster.
the good thing that you and I think Ramon suggested to create different listings for, like, as you said, for like bodybuilders, for I don't remember, for
Tennis.
probably, yeah,
Mhm.
like create different listings. And the main disadvantage that I think he has like 116 or 160 reviews that he collected like in a year. But so when he creates new listings, right, he'll need to collect reviews again. But there were bad reviews on this listing, and he wanted to delete them because I think his co-manufacturer failed with some. So
Yeah, his listing was still at 4 stars.
yeah, it was good. Yeah, 4 for 2, 4.0.
4 point
Yeah.
something. So
Yeah.
I didn't find that the reviews were so damaging that it required a new listing or too much focus on trying to remove those reviews. I mean, if they're there, they're there. You know, personally, as a buyer, and this theme I think is going to carry a lot through the main topic today, but as a consumer, I shop on Amazon. Like, we're power shoppers. And on the personal side and the business, like everything we buy is from Amazon. As a matter of fact, our waters now, we were getting 24 packs from Instacart for like $8. We get 36 packs from Amazon for $5.
Wow, that's a big difference.
But you need to, oh my God, what is this? Like, the last few weeks we've been getting like throwbacks of OGs and what's going on, bro? Good, you look great.
You too.
Boy, you've been hitting it, huh?
You too.
Yeah, bro, good seeing. Yeah, bro, that's shot. I'm so good to see you, bro.
Likewise.
Yeah, Beto, what's going on? So as a consumer on Amazon, I would, if I saw a listing with 5,000 5-star reviews, no negative reviews, I wouldn't buy the product. Like, I just know that that's not possible nowadays. And the story it makes me think of is when I used to sell humidors. I had a brand of humidors, cigar boxes, for those of you who don't know. They were great. And I sent one to somebody, he left me a 1-star review. And the 1-star review said, the dimensions, it could have been better if the dimensions were, the inner dimensions were an inch more, because it was no longer suitable as a coffin for my parrot. His parrot. And I'm like, there are people out there that are using humidor boxes to bury parrots, $100 and something boxes to bury parrots, and I'm like, you can't sell something and get 5,000 reviews and not get a negative review. Like, so when I look at that, I'm like, you gamed the heck out of that, which means there's something wrong with your product, and I don't want to be the guinea pig here. That's how I look at it. So 4.2 stars, I don't think is enough to like scrap the listing. Just get some more positive reviews. And that's my 2 cents. What else? Oh, and the other thing for me that's going to be the theme when we get into the topic of the week later is, like, online, a lot of talk is put into, and it's important, keyword optimization on listings, Rufus, Cosmo, like all this AI stuff. But at the end of the day, the algorithm does not have a wallet, right? We do, buyers do, humans do. So you can't neglect, you can't write a listing that's just optimized for an algorithm and does not take into account that a human is going to look at this and want and feel the urge to buy it. So that's my take on it as we go through, when we get into our topic of the week. Other announcements, so I mentioned the podcast. I mentioned that April 4th, we're actually going to do a different meetup event, which is we're going to that social e-commerce event in Wynwood. I believe the VIP ticket is $12.50. I think you should get the ticket, just go as a group. If you can't, no shame in that, just DM me, I'll get your ticket. That's not, like, don't let the $12.50, save it for your parking, right? But just go to the event. It'll be good. When we get together and we get out and we get to meet more people, like it's usually always a learning experience, even if the event's a bust. Questions? Who has questions, since it is the beginner hour?
Is the event going to be recorded? Because I learned about it.
Recorded? I don't think so, and it's not my event. It's hosted, I'll put if you want afterwards, I can share the link with you, but I'm gonna put it out there on Meetup. It's something that's being hosted. I've never gone to it before. Michael Morejon from our group shared the link, and I was like, oh, this is an opportunity. There used to be an annual event called Asia Trade Show of the Americas. You remember that? You used to go to Miami Beach? Horrible event.
Convention center.
Yeah, it was a horrible event.
Yeah.
I built 2 PL brands out of that event, like, even though it was horrible. And we walked the floor together. Trade shows are important. Conferences, I think, are important. And the first one you go to, it's probably gonna be very overwhelming. You're gonna botch it. So being able to sort of lose your trade show virginity, so to speak, going with a group and getting all that awkwardness out of the way, I think helps you for the next one that will help your business. So worth it to go, but you're gonna be out of town.
No, I'm going to China to see some manufacturing there. So I'm going to be traveling for 15 days. So
Okay,
I'm very interested to participate.
cool.
Who's organizing it?
I have no idea. I have no idea who the company is that's organizing it. I saw Join Brands, MDS, and another company in the space that we know sponsoring the event. So I was like, okay, there has to be a little something here. The guys at MDS are pretty sharp. Join Brands is pretty much MDS. So I don't know, I think it'll be good. And I think social media is becoming more and more important for e-commerce. What else? What other questions anybody else has while we're in the beginner hour before we get into the topic of the week? You gotta have questions. Or I can start. There used to be a guy in the group for years. I hope the guy's doing good. Gabe. And Gabe used to say, who has any questions? And if you don't, I'll just start picking on you. So it was something I liked. So who has questions? Otherwise, I'll just start calling people out and seeing where everybody's at.
Talking about social media, what do you think about TikTok that is growing and growing?
Well, I went from a few years ago to hoping TikTok would go away. And then I went from, I just want it to go away before my daughter's a teenager. And then I realized, oh my God, I'm dropping an hour a day consuming this thing. And then I was like, this is an excellent way to launch products on Amazon. And now, look, TikTok's growing super fast. Like what TikTok's growing super fast, fastest growing one out there. Let me see if I get this stat right. Fastest growing one out there, nobody can debate this. But what they grew during that fast rate is not half of what Amazon's, the number, the total, the dollar amount that they grew is not even close to half of what Amazon did during the same time. So like they're I would put them second, I put them ahead of Walmart. Like if I had to pick 2 platforms to go on, it would not be Amazon and Walmart. It would be Amazon, TikTok, and then Shopify. So Walmart for me is like falling. TikTok's rising. I guess it depends on your product. But to say, yes, they're second. They're behind Amazon, but that's such a distant second. And the only reason I think us as Amazon sellers really like TikTok is that so many of the people that see the influencer videos on TikTok don't trust TikTok enough to buy on TikTok that they just jump to Amazon and use branded search. But that says a lot about the platform. Like that there is a percentage enough on the platform that are willing to bail off the platform that they just saw an influencer talk about something that they like to go search for it on Amazon so they can get it in a day or two because they trust not only do they know they're gonna get it in a day or two or less, because I'm ordering stuff now and I'm getting it in an hour to 3 hours. They can get it in a day or two or less, but they also know if anything happens, they're gonna get their money back. TikTok may be the same way, but people don't feel that way. So that lack of trust, that lack of customer centricity, if you will, is how Amazon built what they built. And the fact that TikTok's already struggling with that, to me is like, I think if you're a brand owner, you're making a huge mistake ignoring TikTok right now. So I think you really should be doing it. Your competitors are doing it. and they're getting much more affordable traffic than you're getting if you're only using Amazon PPC. But I'm not even convinced TikTok, and this is just a total guess, but like, if I was to put my hat on for a year, year and a half from now, I think TikTok created like what we know as TikTok, but I don't think they're going to be the dominant player. Yeah, kind of like ChatGPT. We're always going to call it ChatGPT, but I'm not convinced ChatGPT is going to be the dominant AI that's best to use for business. Does that make any sense? Yeah.
Well, it's actually, this generation, the young people, they consume a lot of TikTok. And right now, they are the more who, spend money now do that way. Our generation is different. So that's why, in my opinion, I agree with you about TikTok. I 100% agree with you about TikTok. And come back to the subject of Walmart. Walmart is a big difference between Amazon because the shipping of Walmart is terrible. You order something in Walmart and there is 80% chance that you receive a completely different, product on Walmart. And this is probably why Walmart is not having a success as Amazon, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because I've been trying both, even for my company, and I order, for example, Crayola, a box of 24, they bring me box of 96. I didn't order the 96, I ordered 24. No, but if you order 324, they give you 196.
Can you throw the mic over her way? I'm sorry. Can you throw that mic to her?
Thank you.
You don't have to hold it up, just be near you.
Yeah, so it is a huge difference between, in my opinion, and the big problem is how organized is Walmart compared with Amazon. Amazon, the structure and the base, how Amazon is organized is amazing. It's great way. It's a great way. I have an account of one of my company in Amazon, but I didn't use it for years around because I have my experience not so good with Amazon. So right now I would like to return to, that's why I came here. One of my friends recommended me to
Somebody recommended you
listen.
come? Who?
Yeah. Igor?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's a friend of mine and he recommended me to come to listen.
Absolutely.
And I was like, yeah, I would like to see how it's going on with Amazon to see if I keep it again and I return it again.
Are you able, I don't know if you share what your product is, you don't have to, but can you share the category or?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. I have two companies. One company is the school supplies,
Okay.
office supplies, school supplies. So my client number one is schools right now with that company. But I sell in school supplies to parents. So parents go to my website, they find absolutely the complete list. So they buy it 3 minutes and I send the box to the school directly or to their houses. So they don't have to go all around to shopping or to try to figure out how the supply list is. And I also provide like planners, agendas, personalized to the schools. And at my other company, I'm selling uniforms. So I provide uniforms to schools, to companies in general, we do embroidery, screen printing, everything. So I used to sell in school supplies through Amazon.
Yeah,
But
so
it
I,
was-
somebody I work with has a company called Mead, M-E-A-D. They're a big player in that space.
They're not books.
Yep. Yeah, but school supplies is their category for that.
Mm-hmm.
They absolutely kill it on TikTok. Yeah, they absolutely kill it on TikTok. And I want to say one of the campaigns, and I'm sharing this because they didn't create this. This is something they saw. And it was how we would approach user-generated content on TikTok for, say, a beauty product. They were doing the same thing for the school supplies, but the call to action was to share this link with your parent. So it was the person, they were doing this knowing that the person that was consuming this wasn't buying their own supplies, but it was to share this link. So a few things happened there. One, the share and copy link is a signal to TikTok that it's a very high engagement signal. So it shows the content to more people. And then some small percentage of those people's parents or whoever buys it actually bought it. But I know 100% that TikTok is really important. Depending on your price point, Amazon could be challenging trying to sell, you know, $12 notebooks.
Yes,
Right.
almost because many companies who, right now I do not have my own brands right now with school supplies. With uniforms, yes, with t-shirts, I start bringing my clothing with apparel with my brand. But with the school supplies it's difficult because most of the stronger brands like Net, Acco brand for binders,
Yep.
like Pen, Crayola, those brands, they do not give you permission or allow you to sell in on Amazon their brand.
Right.
So right now I'm trying to figure out how can I bring my own brand with something different that impact in the social. In this way, I can definitely start,
Your school supplies, are they for specific grade levels?
all levels. It's basically a school get a percentage commission of all the sales. So I go through parents via schools. So I make an agreement with schools, I provide them all the marketing, and the school let the parents know that, listen, you can find the school supplies in this website. So I
So
go to-
what comes to my mind, what I would do, and that would allow you to get into Amazon, but you'd probably have to wait, like, probably take you like 6 months, or so you might miss your next window, is I'd create a profitable paid email newsletter. I would use Creator Network. We've talked about it here before. If anyone wants to see it, I can pull it up on the screen. But what Creator Network is a hub for just hundreds of thousands of newsletters, and these legit newsletters. And
Okay.
these creators are connected through Creator Network. And then you say, it might be easier. I'm going to try to describe it, but it might be easier for me just to show it. Is you're going to go in there and search for the newsletters that are relevant to what you sell, like going back to school, crushing the 4th grade, or there's different newsletters for like every grade. And then what happens is on Creator Network, you're going to see from the back end that these newsletter creators, they want to make money. So say he has a newsletter on staying sane during staying sane as a parent during elementary school. And he's got hundreds of thousands of people there. He has a very valuable list, but he's not going to share those subscribers with you. He's not going to let you write to his people because they know, like, and trust him. But what can happen is that every time one of his subscribers opens a newsletter, they're greeted with a pop-up box that says, if you love this newsletter, you're really going to love, and then it shows you. And in that case, anybody, and the box is already clicked, anybody that says, heck yeah, anything that he's recommending, I love, they hit yes, they now double opt into you. And if they do double opt in, you pay him 40 cents. So you could set a daily cap. You could set a daily cap, 5, 10, 20 bucks a day that you're willing to spend, and the most you're willing to pay per click. So it allow you to rapidly grow that list. If you wanted to do it even more and put some ad spend behind it, they have a program called Spark Loop. And Spark Loop would allow you to run paid ads to scale that rapidly. But using that program, you should be able to grow a list. Like the newest newsletter that we were showing, like that I just,
400-500 in a month.
yeah, you should be able to pull in like 400 or 500 a month. And through the Spark Loop side, we'll pull in like 400 or 500 a day.
I see one issue about that.
Yeah.
And the issue is that every single supply list, depending on the school, depending on the grade, is different. The school elite. So when I'm selling more than school supplies, I'm selling convenience.
You're selling
So-
what?
Yes, so
Convenience.
the convenience. So parents can go to my website because they find exactly the list there. So if I go to the newsletter, they're going to try to find their school, and it is
That would be
And
very
it's also
difficult.
Very difficult for me to have, I don't know,
Yeah.
5,000 schools in my system with too many changes. I mean, no, they're not gonna.
No, I would say that would be close to impossible, like,
Exactly.
but there's gotta be people that want school supplies that are outside of a list. And while you can't sell Crayola on Amazon directly as a reseller, you totally can sell Crayola on a newsletter. Sorry, heck, you could list Crayola for sale and just make an affiliate, associates cut. I mean, Crayola sells itself. I don't know, that's how I'd approach it, but yeah, selling lower cost supplies on Amazon would be challenging.
Yes, it's a big challenge, unless I have my own brand, my own product, and that brand and that product have something different, something like
Yeah,
get the attention to clients, you know. And I have some ideas, but I need to still working on it.
yeah,
And,
no,
and also clothing.
clothing's challenging on
yes,
Amazon.
It's a challenge. It's a big one because prices is ridiculous. I mean, I don't know where they get a profit. Sometimes I check it out, how much is the
And that's
t-shirt.
before the returns.
Exactly. So I don't see any. Sometimes I don't see any profit, honestly. And I was like, what? How that price? It's crazy, you know. So yeah, it's a big challenge.
I'm in a lot of, I'm in a lot of chats with Chinese sellers, like really good Chinese sellers. And by chats, I mean groups of 100,000 and stuff like that. And just because how long I've been in the space, in this community and all that there, it's like, for some reason, they're open with sharing like tips and strategies and things that are happening. So it helps me see like what's coming, what craziness is being done. And something that had always been, had kind of escaped me, and it wasn't until recently that it clicked for me, is that when you look at all these Chinese sellers, we, absent being in a group like I'm in, we believe that they're just willing to operate on tiny margins. And that's why they tank their price. So like when you're looking at some apparel or some piece of clothing and you're like, how do you make any kind of profit off this? And the other assumption is that they're factories, and that's why they're doing this, because you're operating. Of that group of 100,000, and there's several groups of 100,000, what percentage do you think, or how many of them do you guys think are factories? Just throw some numbers out there. Let's just use one of the groups of 100,000. And remember, this is what we all talk about, factory direct, and they're cutting price, right? Like, how many of the 100,000 do you think are factories?
Where in China?
Yeah, or less, right? They're not. Factories do attempt to sell direct, and that's the highest percentage of failed Chinese sellers are factories. Factories are notorious for failing selling on Amazon, who is very good, just as good as us or better, is the trading companies in China who have like marketing teams. They're like digital marketers / trading companies. These are the ones that have been able to make people think for years online that they themselves are factories. I'm saying this, it ties in a second. Like once that clicks for you, you realize, okay, this next piece isn't going to sound as bad. How many third-party marketplaces do you think these sellers sell on? And AmazonUS.com counts as one. What do you think the average third-party marketplace count is that these sellers sell on? You guys just toss numbers out.
Worldwide.
15.
Worldwide, yes, that's important because we're talking about worldwide.
Very important.
Close to 80, right? Most of us would struggle to name 30 marketplaces, right? Most, close to 80. Amazon, outside of Canada and a few places in Europe and the US, in everywhere else, they're not even the #1 marketplace that's out there. So when you start adding up all the countries, you can see how rapidly this number hits 80. Last one, and this should all click for you guys. which marketplace of those 80 do you think has the smallest profit margin for them? Amazon.com. So if they sell on 80 marketplaces and Amazon, and put yourself in, you're a trading company. You sell on 80 marketplaces and one of them brings you the least amount of profit, but the highest amount of volume. Why do you sell on that platform?
Those 300 million members, and they sell $1.7 billion a day.
But it's this. But think about you as a business owner. You need to justify why you're putting up so much money to move that much volume for so little profit. I mean, you're tying up money. So like, why do it? Here's why. They need to buy from factories. Do you get better discounted pricing the more stuff you buy from a factory or the less? Amazon is just a play for them to crush their MOQs and get preferred pricing. So they don't have this model where they just love operating at a penny profit because they're a factory. It's trading companies who have a 2,000 MOQ but can turn around and say, on Amazon alone.com, we could move 15,000 units at this price. What if we order 30,000 units? What price would we get? So Amazon is just a way for them to have amazing profit margins on all those other platforms. That's it. And when you look at it like that, you realize that that's crazy. So what is most of ours #1 sales channel is just something it's just a hack or
What about Alibaba?
Alibaba, yeah. What about it?
Is this the #1 right now?
For B2B. Yeah, for B2B, yeah. And a lot of people don't realize Alibaba's growing rapidly in the US. I do a lot of cool stuff. Hello.
I came in time for the break.
Alibaba's growing rapidly in the US. A lot of people don't realize you order from China right now. You know, a really rapidly growing of products that you buy from China now include returns. You can return your products now. And when you go to return it, you're going to be shocked. It's probably a warehouse 15, 20 minutes from you. And they're going to receive it, and you're going to get your money back. It could be a container. You can get returns now. It's wild. They also, there's a new filter on Alibaba now. I do some educational, I do the YouTube educational content for Alibaba, so they give me something, and Alibaba's phenomenal. I love Alibaba. They've never put me in a position that was like, just record this and say what's on this script. They give me free reign to change what I want on the scripts. And then if I come across something, which is often, I'm just like, I've never heard of this. Like, I need to fact check this. I need to see like if this is legit. This is one of those ones. There's a filter now on Alibaba that you can check that is to show you only suppliers for your product that you can receive in 3 to 7 days. And the reason for that is the product's already in the US.
Yeah, they're working on it since 2 years ago. Probably they started working on that. And most of the warehouses from Alibaba are in California.
Yeah.
They are in California and Texas.
Yeah,
They have
it's pretty amazing. So I mean, obviously, if you're gonna, and I recommend in that scenario, what you're selling is a Me Too product. I'm not a fan of selling Me Too products. So if you're gonna do OEM, so if you're gonna customize your product, then obviously it needs to be customized and be shipped over. And I still think that's the way to go. But if you have a local business and you need to, fill out all the supplies you need for your local salon, and you're like, I want to go to Alibaba, but damn, I'm gonna have to wait all this time. And no, it's already here. And you get those Alibaba prices. So those factory China prices. So good stuff.
Yeah, it's convenient for samples. Like when I contacted packaging manufacturers in China, and if they have warehouses in US, they can send you samples like in 1-2 days. So you can just check the quality, not exactly the packaging with your artwork, but just to have an idea of their quality and, quality.
Yeah, no, good stuff. How are we on time? Let me see.
148.
1:48, we got time. Yeah, let me see this. I did legs yesterday. I stand up and I'm like, no, let me sit down. And then I sit down and I'm like, you gotta be better standing up. All right. Hello, Janet. Says, hi, Carlos, I've shortlisted, let me just pop it up here. I've shortlisted 4 food suppliers and they're all pretty close on MOQ, pricing and responsiveness. How do you usually evaluate samples and pick a winner when everyone looks similar on paper? Well, I'm thinking, and I think the reason why I'm stuck on this is I've never been in that scenario. Usually there's always been something that was like pretty, if all things are equal, there was always this one other thing that I liked more. Like, for example, one of them's in Fort Lauderdale and everyone else is in another state. And if all things are equal, I'll take Fort Lauderdale and a Brightline trip to go see them. I've done that a lot with shippers, you know, with sea freight. So I got some people that I work with in Doral here in the free trade zone that I probably pay $150 more per, but we can meet at La Floridita or La Carreta or something like that in an hour. If there's an issue, I'll pay for that. And again, full transparency, I don't believe I've been in this scenario. What I would do, I think, is use that as a great way to negotiate. I'd put it together and I say, look, this is what I'm getting from 6 suppliers. Like, can we do any better here? Like, what can we do? Can I get a credit? Can you waive my organic referral fee? Can you, like, I'd figure out something else, and then a few are gonna say no, and I'd pit them against each other to see who's willing to play ball more with me. I hate being in that scenario though. I find it a disadvantage to, once I've spent money with you, like if we spent money with them, and then on the next round, I want to start talking about negotiating or MOQs or what can we do with this material. I feel like it's a more respectful conversation because we broke bread together versus we've never met, we've never done business together, and I'm trying to lower your MOQ. I feel like it does a disservice to, like, I'm not respecting your quality, I'm not considering your workforce, the time you've been doing this. Like, sometimes you need to do that, but I think you're at a disadvantage when you have to do that. So, like, let's spend some money. I know I could probably beat you up for $500 here on this one, but I think it's gonna serve me much better later, and I'm gonna get more than the $500 by kind of kicking the can on this a little bit. So, but in this case, I think that's what I would do. Anybody want to weigh in on that, by the way?
Yeah.
Do you have a mic near you? Yeah.
Yeah, I've just been in the same situation. What I did, I don't know if it's like professional, what I did, I got samples, I shared it among my colleagues and friends. I created a Google form with feedback, like let me know what you think about overall quality, like taste and everything. So I collected a good feedback, and actually we even changed the product a little bit, like formula a little bit. So maybe this is what you can do, and it's partially answers your second question.
Good. Yep. Anybody else want to give feedback? Let's see. I've got another one here. Also, how do you figure out which flavors will actually resonate with customers? Any go-to methods you've used? Oh, I love this. So, in the beginning, there's a bit of it depends here on the type of food product. So, sorry, I'm thinking slow because I'm working with a lot of people on different food products. And some have no problem with me mentioning their food product out here. Some of them would feel like the whole sky is falling if I did. So I'm just trying to think a little bit more. But let's use Chris for a second. Chris has a product that would not lend itself well to pumpkin spice, right? But pumpkin spice can go in almost anything else. So if we were talking about popcorn seasoning, there is pumpkin spice popcorn seasoning. There is turmeric cracked pepper popcorn seasoning. There is these weird, we could probably do like a jerk. I'm sure there's like a jerk chicken popcorn seasoning, which I would love that. So like
There is a popcorn season? No.
the what?
There is a popcorn season, you said?
Popcorn seasoning? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's huge.
Popcorn seasoning is a great category.
Never.
Great category. You could, most people would just think of butter, right? Or movie theater butter, double butter, but there's cheddar and ranch even at the movie theaters. But there's a whole world beyond that.
There's a guy that became a millionaire that came with 4 flavors. And he sells everywhere. I forgot the name right now.
Yeah, so what I look at as far as flavors, the best thing I've ever found was just walking into like a Publix and going into their cereal and popcorn aisle, cereal, chips, popcorn, and then if you want to just round it off, go into any good supplement store, like a little hole-in-the-wall supplement store, because you're going to walk into the supplement store now and you have no idea. If you haven't been to a supplement store in a while, you're going to walk in there and go get your protein, and it's the Fruity Pebbles protein, you know. But when you look at that, and then you look at the popcorn and you look at the chips, they're really pushing the limits on the stuff that works. And I look at these established brands who have big budgets to spend on teams to just figure out what works well with everything. And again, with the exception of, say Chris's product, most products, like, again, most products can do with a Snickers, M&M, those sort of sprinkles, popcorn seasoning. Like, so I go back to popcorn seasoning a lot because it's like, usually for me, if it can work in a popcorn seasoning, it usually works across other ones. Yeah. So I don't know. It's not the most professional. I know with scent, there's is it Bed Bath & Beyond? That's the one that's closed, right?
Yeah.
What's the candle one that I always get Bed Bath & Beyond mixed up with? They're in Dolphin Mall.
Bath and Body Works?
Is it Bath & Body Works?
Yeah. No, no, you have a candle company.
The one that's right by the food court?
Candle company. Yankee Candle.
Well, Yankee Candle's a popular candle. No, I think it's Bath & Body Works. They publish, I think quarterly or every season, a new thing of scents, and almost all categories just follow suit behind it, where scent is an important thing. So they kind of lead the charge with taste and flavors. That's what I look at. That's how I approach it in my head.
When I read King's question, it said, well, how do you actually know which flavors actually resonate, right?
Well, what resonates is what's selling.
What resonates is what's selling, but I also feel like you've also taught us that category that no one has tapped into yet. But I think it goes back to what he was saying, was do a survey to see, well, do people really like that category? Because you do want to be different in a popular
Sure.
market, right? But different also means, will anyone buy it? Which is why, like, he did the Google survey, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you need that. I mean, you and I have differences where it's, you like the salted and I didn't like the salted.
And I think the poll was salted was better.
No, I think that's your poll. You know, I think it's just a matter of, okay, what does the analytics say? And what does your crowd say?
Yeah, no, you should Pick Food would be great for that.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Pick Food would be fantastic for that.
Pig food?
Pick Food. That's the one I sent you the video on. Yeah. Pickfood.com. Yeah, no, good points. Hope that helps. Any other questions? We could take another question before we get into our topic of the week.
Oh, I thought I came in time for break.
Perfect.
Just joking. I do have one question.
Yeah.
So I'm reaching out to Alibaba sellers, right, to get like samples of their bags. And they've pretty much all told me to create the sample, meaning to put the design on it, right? It's going to be anywhere from $150 to $300. And so it's almost like they're deterring you from trying to get a sample because they're like, it's not worth it,
Oh, yeah, well, I can imagine
right?
the work that goes into doing one sample.
Right.
What you're not sampling what your artwork looks like on a bag though at that stage. You're sampling, what you're trying to get samples of is quality bags. What's on the bag doesn't matter.
It doesn't?
No, well, what you're trying to establish at the stage you're on right now is a quality bag. If the bag is blue or purple, that's irrelevant. You're talking about a quality bag. The next stage is once you have a quality bag, you submit your artwork and it gets put on there. What they will do is before they do a mass run, they'll print one off and then get your approval on it. But in that case, you've already done business. But for them to get the artwork, put it on a bag, and then do it, yeah, plus the shipping to get it to you, that's not.
But how much do you trust that when they do the design, you're seeing everything that?
I've never once been on the wrong side of that.
Because you know, I'm the one who knows everything that goes wrong with Amazon.
I agree.
They're done there, so I'm like, okay, should I just?
No, I agree. I think you should go with your gut. And if $300 is gonna like take the edge off on the stress, I think that's a very, very, very good $300 spent. But I've never needed to do that. If you wanna throw in there saying something like, okay, I'm approving this bag, I agree with this price on this quantity, but I need it in writing that before we mass produce anything, I wanna see what this looks like. They'll send you one, they'll mail you one. You're gonna add maybe a week onto your timeline, but they're probably gonna all try to encourage you also, let us just show you a live video of this. I've done it for the packaging. I didn't used to do it when I started, but I do now for the types of packaging that you're talking about, which is a stand-up pouch.
And the
That's,
live video work.
I get it on a live video, pictures and live video. Yeah. Anybody else got anything else?
Well, I have a B2B that I'm starting.
Can you grab the mic? Yeah.
I have a B2B that I'm starting, and I was actually trying to link to Alibaba, but some of the products were more expensive on Alibaba than even buying it in the US. So it's like, how is that possible? And it's like $400 difference, lower in the US.
Are you able to share what the product is?
It was a coffee machine. So I couldn't understand why.
It's more expensive on Alibaba than the US? Well, I would drill down. I would first look at to make sure that they're not just visually the same, but that what's inside the same, because I'm familiar with the coffee space and the amount of burrs, the strength, there's a lot that could be going on inside the guts of the coffee machine that could make one completely different in price than the other. So that'd be one. Once you're certain that you're comparing apples to apples, I would then really drill down and make sure you're dealing with a factory and not a trading company, which would probably be the next flag. A lot of people in Alibaba do a good job of putting themselves off as a factory, but if they're not a factory, they need to sell this at a profit, which means they're gonna need to mark it up after shipping. But so if it's $300 to $400 more expensive, I'm putting $150 to $200 in my head to ship the machine. They marked it up $100. To me, that sounds like a trading company. Another flag would be, is the person who's selling it for the $300 to $400 more also allowing you to buy 1 unit and 50 units or a really low amount? To me, that would lend even more that you're working with a trading company. So now you're getting the service, the benefit of a low MOQ for the same type of product And in that case, you might not be looking at a bad deal. But you're saying you can buy it in the US straight up for $400 less, which could be the factory selling it direct. It could be the factory doing a D2C play. So like there's a bunch of things that could be happening. Yeah.
A little more detailing. I just found the same brand and everything.
Also, the advertised price on Alibaba really means nothing. Like there's some stuff that you might find that coffee machine after some digging for 20 cents. It does not mean you're going to get it for 20 cents. Yeah. You were nodding, yeah. You want to add anything?
No, actually, it's funny because I also find products in Alibaba that it came from Italy. So that's probably, this is why it's more expensive, because also people in China purchase, a brand from other countries because they don't like Chinese. So this is maybe another possibility that people in Alibaba selling products from Italy. And of course they have to sell it more expensive because it's not the same.
It was an Italian brand, so it's fine.
Is it Italian brand? See? Maybe that. And maybe that brand in Italy made it in India, for example, and that is why it's not as expensive. I don't know.
Yeah.
Many things can happen.
Kim D wants to know, am I sharing the links to those Chinese chat groups? I cannot, or I will forever be banned. They're very just Chinese. I've gotten in there because I work really close with Alibaba. Then I'm on the board of Co-Create, and then I've run across some of these people at these events over the years, and I have been invited. As a matter of fact, I've been told in so many terms to maybe just be an observer and not try to be too active in these groups. And where these groups are hosted, I don't even know that there's a link I can send. So it's, look, it is a secret society. And I'll tell you two things that happen in these groups that a lot of people think are dead, that are not dead, and that are working just as good as, I would say better than ever. One of them is rebates. If you've been selling for any amount of time, you might know, Miguel would know, you'd know, rebates were a thing. Well, let me back up. We'll do a little history here before we get into this. You used to be able to just go to Amazon, go to Fiverr, tell someone on Fiverr, a whole bunch of people on Fiverr to go to Amazon and add your product to a wish list. And if enough of your products get added to a wish list, you'd be the #1 organic placement on Amazon for your product, and you'd make a whole bunch of money. Amazon caught wind of that. They sued Fiverr, won, and now Fiverr cracks down on anybody that tries to do that. That loophole's fixed. Then you had these sites like ilovetoreview.com, and they started creating these sites which was, people would say, I'm willing to buy your product on Amazon for a 100% off coupon code in exchange for an unbiased review, in exchange for a review. So you could list your products, you could give away as many codes as you want, and you could go get hundreds of people from these sites. And they'd go to Amazon, they'd buy your product with the 100% off code, they'd receive it, and then they leave a review. On Amazon's side, that was a transaction, you ranked, and they didn't pay much attention to the coupon, because that's a strategy that you're allowed to give coupons. They decided that was an okay thing, lasted for years. A whole bunch of sellers to this day that now have like agencies now were spitting all kind of like knowledge on how to succeed on Amazon, creating courses, and Amazon got some bad press, and the Consumer Protection Agency wrote up a big thing on how they're going to sue Amazon because people are doing these giveaways to make it look like they're the #1 bestseller for a product, but they're really not. So they changed it, and the Consumer Protection Agency is saying anyone that's going to leave a review has to put a disclaimer in the review saying that I received this product in exchange for an unbiased review. So now we get into the third wave. So now these review sites said Amazon did not say what we're doing is illegal, but it's only illegal if a disclaimer is not put in the review. So thing kept happening, but everyone would leave the disclaimer in the review. Everything was fine, everyone started ranking, everyone started making a whole bunch of money. And then Amazon came in and said, that's totally illegal, we can't do that, all that stopped. They started yanking everybody's reviews. So then us smart people got together and said, wait a minute, what if I told you to go to Amazon and search for my main keyword, find me, and buy it, and if you did, I'll refund you. So search, find, buy, SFB, so that's what you would do. People would search for your product, it's called a treasure hunt. Same thing, people made a whole bunch of money, this and that. But it was too difficult. So smart people got together and figured out how to create these links that they could just send, where it was these search, find, buy, two-step URLs, you remember this? And you could send these URLs, so not only did you just search for my brand name, but when you clicked that link, it tricked Amazon into thinking you searched for my main specific keywords, so I could change that up and rank for specific keywords for every link. A whole bunch of people made money. Amazon eventually cracks down on it, obviously right before one Christmas, when a whole bunch of people had a bunch of inventory and they couldn't make any money that year. And now everyone was stuck. But come to find out, rebates are something that have been around forever. So they decided to say rebates were a thing that you're allowed to do. There's nothing wrong with giving a rebate. I mean, think about it, we know rebates all the time. Rebates are rebates. Sites like Rebate Key, which still exists to this day, it's called rebatekey.com, allowed you to list your product, show I'm willing to give 100% rebate for my product, and when you clicked it, it tracked all the back end stuff. And 30 days later, after your refund window closed, you could go in there and hit the button and say, send me my refund, send me my rebate. And they would mail you a check. And you'd get a check for the full amount. So as long as you were able to float it for 30 days, you didn't lose any money, you just got free products. And a whole bunch of people ranked. Then Amazon came in and said, that's illegal. We're severing your connection to the software, so Rebate Key is no longer connected to Amazon. Everyone freaked out and they stopped. So that's the end of the story, except it's not. Rebate Key's still up. RebateKey.com still works great. But, and I know this because I work with people that say, can you just go in there and add us on Rebate Key? And I'd be like, well, you know Amazon has voiced their opinion on Rebate Key unless they say you can get suspended for this. And they go, yeah, we've been doing it and we don't get suspended, and I don't know, well, if you want to do it. So like a lot of people I know are still doing it and they have us do it for them, and not a single one has been suspended in years, a warning, anything. So other rebates, those rebate sites, they still exist and they still work well. These Chinese chat groups have their own, and they're doing these giveaways and these rebates, but the way they have their groups structured, there's no way you're going to be able to, somebody from Amazon's going to be able to get in there and force them to give up their list of people that are doing these things. And the Chinese sellers in there have it set up like that by design. So no, I can't just send a link to it otherwise. As a matter of fact, I think if I sent a message saying, hey, I'd like an exception to get somebody in, I might get booted myself. Janet said Bath and Body Works, yes. Let me clarify, my question was less about choosing flavor direction, more like when you have the same flavor, say lemon, from multiple suppliers, how do you evaluate and decide which one is better?
Tasting it,
Huh?
eating them.
I do think eating it is a good idea. Eating it and then defaulting to the salty one being better, right?
There's actually more variables to that, but like, okay, is it, like distance to your fulfillment center? Like,
Yeah.
What are like?
Somebody throw on the mic.
Yeah, like what, like open the equation up to like, distance to your maybe co-packer, distance to your fulfillment center. Maybe are they easier to work with? What are they in the same time zone as you?
Yeah.
There you go, open it up.
Yeah, I think all that's good.
And I think if you know, Dimitri said it, like the whole survey thing, but I also do think it's hard to get all flavors to be the same. Like if you are really looking at your product and looking at the suppliers, said she has one now and one thing. Well, I guess that's why you do a survey with everybody, but it's very hard to say that all the suppliers have the same, because the thickness is different, how it mixes is different, the texture is different, some is grainier, right? Some will dissolve smoothly, some will, like, there's so many different variables. Even some of them will sell you different quantities, right? Some will tell you, no, our minimum is 50, and another will tell you it's 500. So there's so many different variables that all of them can't be the same.
Yeah, I've never tasted like 6 lemon products and felt all lemon were the same.
Yeah, because the concentration of lemon is different too, right? Like some may put 40%, some may have 100%.
100. I like 100.
You like 100, and salt.
I feel like you got like a sour head.
I mean, there's one thing that I would add is look into certifications. What kind of certifications those factories have?
That's true.
One could be homemade kitchen.
Pat, can someone pass the mic to Juan?
Let me add one more. Terms, maybe are they willing to extend greater terms for you? Do you get like better pricing, larger quantities you buy?
Yeah, better terms,
Yeah.
better pricing. And Juan had mentioned, who was off the mic, that check into certifications and see who has more certifications. And while they might not be important to you right now, some of them might be down the line. And if they already have it, you don't need to switch to suppliers later on to get that certification, or pay to get that certification for your suppliers. They already have it. Yeah, that's a
Even
good
some
one.
of them are packaged differently. Like I found some that won't do pouches, they'll only do containers. So, I mean, there's a whole lot of variables that they can't all be the same.
Yeah, I've also seen with some of them, like especially now that there's, pre-COVID, it was just suppliers, just co-packers, and just 3PL, but now a lot of that seems to be merging. So if you have a supplier who also has a 3PL, I still price out the 3PL differently, because some of them have a great price on the supplier, but they're gouging you on their 3PL or their co-packing. What I'll do then is they can't, but they treat those businesses differently. So they can only negotiate so far here, but they have a lot more wiggle room somewhere else. And I'll just be like, hey, look, okay, we stay here on the ingredient side, but on the co-packing side, I need this to come down this much, or I need to shave off $1 here. How can we creatively do that across the co-packing and the, so like look at the whole thing and see where you can negotiate. Yeah. All right, we're gonna take that 5-minute break. So anybody has to use the bathroom, get something to.
Can Kim send us free samples?
And Kim, if you send us free samples, we will all try them. Yeah. Chris was on point. I was like, nobody's gonna get up for the break. You're on, like everybody got up. We'll be back in 5 minutes, guys. We're gonna take a quick break and then we'll be back.
It's hard to say, like you're almost the 3.5 hours, you're talking about it, you know, when it's start to finish.
Yeah, that was a good point. Looks like it's a good. Say. Yeah.
So Carlos actually gave me the same, he doesn't respond.
Who?
He, I'm not sure, no one has responded. Like, Chris gave me his contact, which is why I asked you, like, do you have someone? Then I realized it's the same person at a short life, and no one responds.
Who? Yeah.
It's pretty good with me.
Yeah, respond. The guy responds almost instantly. Can you message me and let me do another intro? I mean, the guy.
Because it's, the first one that you messaged, I didn't message Mike, I messaged you.
I don't know a Keaton.
Really? He did add Keaton to the thing.
Oh.
Your email? Yeah.
Oh, so they got a response and then you message Keaton.
And then I messaged both of them.
Oh.
He was telling you thank you for the introduction.
Oh, okay.
And then he's like, do you have any questions? And I responded with my questions. Because I could make a kit, does that go under toys or does that go under makeup?
Toys.
But it's real makeup, like I had to register with Walmart. Because it's real makeup. So like, something like that, you know, I had the question.
Anything like that with somebody that I recommend, hit me up again and CC me on it. Hey, Carlos, is there anybody else you might want to recommend? I think they're too busy for me. Have a line like that? Because of what? No? Or DM me. Or DM me. I can be the bad guy. I'm good at it. Just, otherwise, I won't know until you tell me now. I had no idea. Hello, Cash. How's it going, bro?
Congratulations.
Thank you, bro. Oh, it's your first time here? Oh my God, it's been a while then. Oh, a year, over a year.
Over a year now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, last time we met, you were about to move.
Yep. Oh, let me show you the place real quick then. Well, we were thinking about turning that into a ice bath, eliminating one of the bathrooms and doing like an ice bath, steam room. And then we have like meetings, and just sometimes smaller meetups, sometimes up in here, and then yeah, and then the recording, right? The podcasts, YouTube. Plus, we just do other video stuff. And we're trying to get one of the places either on either side of us. Yeah. But they're here, Doral City Place. I'm here a lot. And I had a big reef tank in the front. I don't know if you saw the message.
I saw the message.
Well, you remember the tank from?
Yes.
From over, it was right there where that sofa's at.
Is this you?
No, we were able to dry it all out, but all this, and it came all flooded that whole room. Yeah, and it came all. Yeah, it came out to here. But this white stuff you see here is salt. Yeah, is.
That was crazy, huh?
Oh my God, yeah.
What was the code, I guess?
No idea. There's a hole in it. Yeah. They were out. They were out. They were out. Cameras went out like 24 hours before.
Huh. That's weird.
Very.
They want to do that much? Or something that better for that?
Agreed. It's about the size of a dime. Perfect. Well, it would have looked like that, except you would have imagined it would shatter.
Igual que yo, soy venezolana, no me vamos a poner de droga como los capos
They
que
were
tenemos en
out about
Venezuela.
24 hours before.
You think they were able to disconnect?
No, battery. Yeah. Good, man. Good. I mean, good for what we do means constant stress, but good. Growth. Business is good. Kids growing fast, healthy. Wife still putting up with me. Living the dream, I guess. I do Toastmasters twice a week. I work out a lot now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started another meetup group for Dungeons and Dragons just for fun. Thursday nights here. So yeah. Yeah, trying to have fun. What about you?
Good. I'm about to launch a new cream, a hot cream. Australian brand.
Okay.
Very powerful cream. And they have cool cream and hot cream.
Say hi, everybody. By the way, you know
I'm Juan. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
you guys might have just missed each other. Boy's one of the original, one of the OGs. Yeah. Yeah. Let's get started. We gotta tell me about it. You guys ready? Let's do it, guys. Chris, you got to come up with a trick now to bring everybody back. You guys ready to learn eBay? Well, I got some. We got some cool eBay stuff to talk about.
The guy that I had, remember when I first met you? He
Yeah.
tried putting me on eBay. I'm like, that's not my customer.
No. All right. So we're gonna. I have to say, Chris was on point with these 5-minute breaks. They look like they were much needed, which now makes me think that all this time that everyone,
We were just being nice.
suffered through it, you were just being nice. You're like, oh my God, I can't feel my legs.
No, we would just get up one at a time.
I think it's one of those things for me, like when the meetup first started, we sat in a circle and every event we all introduced ourselves and then the group got to a size. We all enjoyed it.
Do you say I've been an alcoholic for?
You got to stand up and you just got to say where your cash flow's at and I'm addicted. No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
And it got to we all loved it. No one thought anything of it. People would brag about how they got to meet all these other e-com sellers. And then, were you in Macondo days when we used to go to Macondo? No.
I remember that. It was like, I joined like 2018. It wasn't a circle, it was like table, but everybody's kind of presenting themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was at that stage. And then one day, somebody after the group came up and said, I wish we could spend more time talking about selling. And I was like, isn't that what we did? Because we were talking about everybody else selling. Like, can you talk about selling? And I was like, oh. And it dawned on me that we spent, you tell everybody, you got a minute to talk about yourself. Yeah, right. That's a few minutes. At the end of it, we spent an hour and a half just going over introductions. So we just did an hour for the beginning hour. Imagine 30 more minutes and we're still on introductions and we haven't gotten to. So that was a change. And then 2-3 more years later, there was no topic. It was just meetup. And then we come in and what happens is whoever was the most extroverted and maybe the most knowledgeable talked about whatever problem they had and that dominated the conversation for the session. But there was never, usually even if you were the most extroverted, we didn't wind up talking about beginner stuff. And then another, I call them the sisters. They're a mom and daughter, Pam and Trudy. They look, I can't believe that one's a mom. Just Jamaican. They came to me and they said, you should structure this with a beginner hour and then get into whatever you're going to talk about after that. But that way, anybody that has beginner stuff they want to talk about, because if you're more advanced, you kind of get bored with beginner, and if you're a beginner, talking about advanced PPC stuff kind of sounds. And that changed, and then over time, little things happen in the group, and it looks like you may have added a new thing that sets the tone in the group. So thank you, bro. Today's session, we're going to talk about 10 things, 10 specifically, not 10 things to do to crush your launch, but specifically as it pertains to the Amazon product detail page. There are thousands of things that you can do for your launch. And I'm putting together a doc to maybe find a way to somehow present all that. And it also depends, like for example, there's 100 things you can do on the social media side for an Amazon product launch, but if you have no social media, then it's kind of a very boring meetup for you because you're not going to be able to do any of it. So this one is specific to the product detail page on Amazon, which is arguably the most important thing on Amazon for you. And to kind of over deliver for you guys, I instead of having 10, I have 15. And I wrote down for what goes on behind the scenes to create these things, not trying to make you guys feel like, oh my God, Carlos is awesome for doing this, but just to give you an idea, I very rarely come in here and just wing it because I have no idea if I'm gonna be having a good day, and if I'm having a great day, then everything's just clicking. But if I'm having a bad day and it's not clicking, I don't wanna waste anybody's time for 2.5 hours while I'm fumbling around for like words and memory. So I make notes. And so a lot goes into me getting ready for these. That process has been very simplified for me because now I can jot down my ideas, I can go into past content that I've created, and I can use AI. So one of the things I do, I don't have AI and come in here and say, tell me some stuff that I can talk. That would be a really bad meetup and you'd know. But one of the things is, anytime I have a 5 things or a 6 things or 10 things, if I don't write down a bullet and a brief description of each, I might forget to talk about it. And Dimitri's gonna say, well, what was number 7? and I don't know it, so I have to write it down. In this case, freaking AI let me print this thing and everything, and it's paragraphs, perfect punctuation, grammatically correct. I put this thing together at the end and I was like, man, I wonder if anybody would want a copy of it afterwards. So so I put together 15 things instead of 10. So we have a lot to go over. So I'm gonna like Cuban coffee it probably for most of this pretty fast. And anybody has any questions? The idea is that we have some back and forth while we're doing this. I broke the 3 areas. There are more than 3 areas to a product detail page. But for the purposes of today and what I feel are the most impactful for your product listing, I broke them into 3 areas. So visual conversion, AI and semantic, and brand and trust. So I have about 5, the top 5 for each one of those 3 areas, and then I'm gonna deliver them to you guys in that order. Fair? Okay. First one should be pretty obvious. And this is under the visual conversion, and that's your main image. Like this is the one that if you get wrong, I really don't think much else matters. Your PPC is gonna suffer, everything's gonna suffer. Your everything else is just downstream from that if you get your main image wrong. When I started selling, you didn't need a main image. It was optional on Amazon. Definitely not optional now. If that thing falls out, I think they immediately suppress your listing. It's like you're not even visible without it anymore. But where you need, what is considered fully optimized and great has also changed. I'm of the belief now, with very, very few exceptions, that it needs to be a very, very well done 3D render. If you're in a position where you can't do that, which sometimes is challenging with fabrics. Okay, if your competitor has found a way to do it though, you need to do it. 3D renders just, they're just in a league of their own when they're done right in comparison to great, great product photography with a great edit. Just completely different. I do not think that your entire image stack on Amazon should be 3D renders, right? So don't get lazy here. Don't be like, I finally found this 3D render part. Let me just check this box and get all this done. It's not a one-stop shop, but your main image should be a 3D render. Your secondary images can have some 3D renders, but they should also have some product photography shots, some lifestyle shots. I'd like to see for most listings at least 2 or 3 lifestyle ones, but you want to see call outs and annotations, you want to see text overlay, all that jazz. So it's not just all 3D render, but your main image, 3D render. Anybody here not doing 3D renders for their main image? That's not a 3D render?
I'm not certain what the 3D render is. I thought 3D render was like where you could spin the car.
No, that's 3D.
That's 360.
Yeah, that's 360, a 360 degree, but a 3D. No, 3D could be a product photography that looks 3D or 3D render. A 3D render, what it basically allows you to do is when you take a product and you do product photography, you need to control the lighting, where the product's at. You need to control everything about the product. It's very difficult to do. If I was taking a picture of
There is AI to do that. You can use the AI. You just take a picture of the product, and you have some AI that they convert the product in 3D.
Yeah, I agree. Personally, we're using a lot of AI. I've not been able to get AI to do, you can get a 3D render for $10 on Fiverr. You can get a 3D render for $4,000 on Fiverr. They're not the same. You can get an AI 3D render and it's really good. Your main image, if it's really good, is going to cost you a lot of money. It needs to be excellent. There's no, you don't skimp here. Skimp everywhere else in your listing, not your main image. I know some people that don't like to admit it to other people, but they spent like $1,500 on their main image, and it was worth every penny, every single penny. So you can do it with AI, and if you're sitting on a main image that was not a great 3D render, then I bet you it's a million times better. But yeah, so that's what it comes down to. And the millisecond that AI is able to do the types of renders that I would call excellent, I will be switching to AI. I will be right there with you. I've just not found it yet personally, but we're trying.
For the people that have not opened an Amazon yet, should we see a sample of in the product detail page?
Yep.
This button. Really good.
And you want to use as examples?
The one that you showed me one long time ago, that they still do it a phenomenal job. The Pets Vitamins, Zest, remember? Zesty. Those guys do a phenomenal job.
This is my browser realizing, oh my God, he has enough Chrome extensions to break the computer. I'm trying not to click on an ad, that's why, really, I'm clicking on an ad. This is a 3D render. A product detail page is everything on this page. So your product detail page starts here. If we were to break it up, I like to break it up into thirds. So your upper third is going to be your main image, your title, your offer, your variations, your bullets. This is called the buy box. I know we talk about it all the time and everybody says they know it, but it's actually this box. It's called the buy box. And if you had 10 people selling that product and all at the same price, they would rotate, and whoever's the featured seller at that moment has the buy box. Meaning if you just bought, that is who you bought from. So in this case, right now, Zesty Paws themselves, the brand, are probably the only seller here, but they have the buy box. Yeah, they're the only seller. If there was 8 other ones, it could rotate, but that's the buy box. So if you bought this, you bought it from Zesty Paws and it'd be fulfilled by Amazon. Now we're getting, I like to cut off the upper third here. Now we're getting into the middle of the product detail page, which is now a lot of ads. This is brand story?
Yeah.
Product description, no. Getting into A+, they don't have their brand story?
Sometimes they flip in the brand story to the end.
Yeah.
Sometimes what? I'm sorry.
They flip in the brand
This is
story.
A+ content, which you might hear some people refer to as EBC, enhanced brand content, same thing. Here we go. From the brand, yeah, they flipped it. And then here you go, here's the brand story. Now we're in the lower third. And we're getting into other reviews, the product details. All that's the product detail page. And the bottom third is also including all the images. But you might hear when we're all talking fast or trying to get fancy, I'm talking about PDP. PDP's product detail page.
But do you think about the pet food category?
What do I think about the pet food category? So it's got a lot of growth potential.
But you can't taste that, so how are you gonna know if it's that food?
It's not packaged.
Well,
Example with dogs.
I read recently that the certifications and the standards that go into dog food are stricter than what goes into humans.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
And I heard
you'd be good.
that
That's a good article.
For pets, it's even better than kids. I was like, what?
Yeah, I've heard the stuff around pets is nuts.
Pet toys.
So what we might do is we might start switching up the food types here, and you have to guess this week. And if you guess right,
Yeah.
all right.
It's definitely not for everybody though.
Oh, Lokesh said, it's been good. Nice to see you, Carlos. Me and Carlos met during the Great Pause. Yeah, Lokesh.
Yeah.
Lokesh, during COVID 2020, we all went on Zoom, and I thought it was the end of the meetup. We never used to have a live stream you remember, pre-COVID.
He's in India.
He's in India, so we
It's
met a
like
lot of
it's
other
like
people
2
that became
o'clock.
part of the community on the stream, and when we came back, we were like, man, it's not the same as Zoom watching it on a YouTube live stream, but it was a way to let people stay connected. But he referred to, and he chimed into every single one of our meetups, the entire COVID. And he referred to it as COVID as the Great Pause. And we thought it was a very accurate, I still think it's a very accurate description of that time. But Lokesh is a very savvy product sourcing, well, beyond product sourcing, but when it comes to sourcing products from India, Lokesh is the guy. Okay. Does that answer what everybody wants? So the 3D render is going to allow you to basically control the lighting of the product, which is going to give the product depth. And a 3D render really makes the image pop, like it's pulled off the screen and there's depth to it, like you can almost grab it. And achieving that with regular product photography is not going to happen. All right, I love this one. Several years back, this wasn't even on my list of things, but you must do to crush launches. You should just be doing this anyway, but mobile first titles. I might get beat up by some of you on this, but mobile first titles for your product listings. This is again one of those areas where you need to remind yourself, when you go online, everyone's just gonna tell you, they're gonna tell you a whole bunch of things which are actually how to grow 1% on Amazon, and they're ignoring the first 98% that you need to succeed. You got 80 characters. That's what you got. And if you spent 25 or 30 of them on your brand name, you have much less left to spare. But look at your title as a mobile first title so that someone can see what they need to see and know this is for them immediately. An example of that, here, a really crappy product to sell would be barbecue gloves. But this would be Lefty barbecue gloves. Or Lefty barbecue gloves for the backyard hobbyist. Or, you know what I mean? Like, you want to be able to clearly put your USP in that, or unique selling proposition right there in the front of that title. And there's a lot of disagreement of that online, and they can respectfully be wrong. But there's a lot of disagreement with that online because they think you should be writing solely for the AI or solely for indexing. It's not true. There's some good arguments to be made on that. Once you've crushed it and you're looking to get like those tiny extra jumps, but the people have wallets, not algorithms, okay?
They would say, correct me if I'm wrong, like 60-something% of sales on Amazon comes from mobile.
Comes from mobile, yeah. And as a matter of fact, a chunk of the other ones are actually higher ticket items that people just have a tendency when you're buying a higher ticket item to be at your desktop. But what convinced them to go buy was their experience of having seen it multiple times on mobile. Yeah.
Commercial categories also goes more on desktop, like big products, like commercial stuff. I also.
Yeah, so you're some ideas for like scentless, leak-proof, things like that. You want to be able to get in towards the front you got to get it in those 80 characters. So like that's your unique selling proposition that you want to put in when you're looking at mobile first. Very important. Amazon shares the data with you of like how many people that are buying from you or where they're buying you from. You're going to see that it's mobile. Just get your product. There's I don't know some of these tools. Anybody know any of the tools out there where they can grab your current listing and show you what it looks like in mobile? Or you can just go look at it. What am I thinking about a tool? Just go look your product up on mobile using the Amazon app.
Somebody's thinking.
I said they're not going to catch what I just said. Like, and then we get it even worse. I get the chuckle of death. Okay, yeah. So look your product up on your phone.
You need one?
I need one. I need one of those tools. Look the product up on your phone and see how horrendous your product looks on the phone, and then optimize for that. You're going to see an uptick in sales.
How much of your PPC affects your, so your mobile title isn't the same as the desktop title?
Sorry?
Your mobile title isn't the same as your desktop
No.
title?
No, think about it. The size of your screen is what you see.
So how do you know when you're doing PPC that it matters if it's mobile versus desktop?
I'm sorry?
How do you know when you're doing your titles and you're managing PPC, that your PPC knows what's mobile or desktop, or is it that you're just putting
No,
the
your
combo
PPC
together?
is going to be served up based on the search of what somebody has. And then what is served up in the search results, if it's your listing, when they click on it, it's going to be displayed in the medium that they're viewing it on. So if they're consuming it on a mobile, they're going to see the mobile version. And if they're consuming it on a desktop, they're not going to see the mobile version. They're going to see the desktop version. So it adapts. But the thing is, since so many people are consuming and buying on mobile, you want to optimize for mobile.
Images, title, everything, even like, just think about it, sorry for your Carlos. Think about it as a quicker look. You want, as a seller, you want to give the good points to your buyer quickly. That's why he's saying put it at the beginning of the title, so whatever triggers them goes quickly. They don't miss, because on mobile, you don't see the second half of the title.
Images, as far as infographics, these are really important. People, I think the last I read was that it's 60 people skim read, right? And when they're shopping, they skim read, and they can skim read 60 to 70,000 times faster images than text. So if you need to write BPA free, just an example, in your image, scale that bad boy up to like 60 points. If you just need to do it, and in some cases you need to. Leaving it in the size that you currently have it at, it's not even registering. So obviously if you scale, a lot of people's images that I look at, if they were to scale the text that they have on their images to 60 points, it would drown out the whole image, which means you have too much text. But you want to scale it up. I think we scale ours to at least 60 points. Just at that size, it's almost like they're scanning an image of it and not needing to read. But you want to turn these into, think more billboard and less secondary image. Does that make sense? And anybody want to add on that? Anybody have a lot of text in one of their secondary images? Does anybody use any text in their secondary image? Well, you should be using some text.
I think if the product is consumable, you're pushed to add maybe the label, right? You agree? The label of the product, what's inside it. It's gonna be sometimes a second image, no?
Sorry?
So if you're selling something consumable, sometimes the second image are the content of what's inside it. So
The nutrition facts and the labels, yeah.
That's gonna be a little more.
Yeah. Well, that again, the nutrition fact label is pretty much an infographic that communicates this is a nutrition label. And if what you're looking for was that, then you pause, they've stopped. They found what they were scrolling for. But if you didn't have it in the format of what looked like a universally known nutrition label, but instead you just wrote it out, there's no way you'd be able to scale all that out to 60 points, and therefore people would just skip it. That's why it's important, yep.
Talking about the main image, on the last meetup you said that one of the product is like, main image for this product is overloaded. Like let's say if you sell, just for example, like mushroom coffee, you want to show the package, you want to show the cup or glass with the coffee, right? To show the product. Also you want to show something like, I don't know, label with it's like 20 servings, and you want to show the text with your main advantage. So where is the level of showing your advantages, but not to overload the main image? Like you can show an example that last time you showed.
What was the product?
Prana, P-R-A-N-A. We'll find it. Prana.
The red logo,
Huh?
the red logo with the bird.
Yes, with the bird, yes. Yes, the first. So, yeah, I think that where's the sixth part? You said it's
Here?
Probably this one.
That's packaging.
The version.
So I don't have the stream hooked up to show the screen to everyone, but what we're looking at is Prana, P-R-A-N-A, organic overnight chia with oats, the strawberry shortcake one. I think switching gears again. Well, first, looking at it now, I like it a little more than I did last week. Why I think I'm not a designer, right? What I'm really good at though, like if you tell me, hey, here's my brand and this is what it's about, design my packaging, forget it. But if you show me packaging, I can tell you why something converts or won't convert that good. And there's something called image hierarchy. And there needs to be a hero in the image, and you usually don't want to have more than 3 things going on, or 3 assets there. I think it's clear here that we're going to call this the hero, but I think it's competing with this. Like, I think this looks a little more delicious to me. So we don't have a clear hero going on. I'll also say, even though I love this and this is delicious, this is a bit repetitive. Okay? So if this packaging here did not have this, and a lot of people make the mistake that it won't even have the strawberries. It'll just say overnight oat and chia strawberry shortcake. That's what the packaging would say. I have a rule that's called show, don't tell. And that is, you need to see what's inside of it. You sell turmeric pills, show a little pile of turmeric, show the pills. If you have, whatever the case may be, like what does it look like? That really helps. If you have a protein powder, if it's strawberry, show strawberries. In this case, if that was the case, you want to show the strawberries, but it's already shown. He's done a good job here. This raining strawberries just doesn't.
For what?
What does that add? Like if you remove the strawberries, like nothing happens. So,
Makes it more romantic.
romantic? I don't see it, but maybe you do. Maybe you're their avatar. But
It looks like one is to go and one is to bring at home. I mean,
It will just make the.
which one do you think is to go? This one?
yes,
Right, and this is the glass you have at home.
yeah.
Yeah. I also have a slight issue here with all this. Like really quick, what certifications do they have?
The organic,
Yeah, the organic and the USDA.
They're super healthy, right? To me, this looks like a plastic cup.
Yeah.
So like that doesn't really jive for me.
They should have moved the glass into the package.
I think this would have been good there.
Yeah.
But so what I'm saying is it's noisy in the sense that they've created a lot of unnecessary stuff. The raining strawberries, the competing hero. And if you clean just that up, and we could do a lot more, but if you clean just that up, then you're already in a much better position, because what's going to happen is this now can get bigger. They've now accomplished show don't tell on their packaging. There's no need to create a pile of strawberries outside of it. I also don't like the layout of all this. These colors, because it's a strawberry, I would have considered changing the color to something that's not red if I want them to look at the strawberries. You could have done some kind of, I mean, you probably could have kept this the same color and shown a white too and still accomplished it. I don't know. Again, me not knowing, this is how I dress, this is my style sense, right? But like, I would have sent that back to the designer and been like, hey, this is a little distracting. Here's the red I want to look at. You do your design thing. This is the only red I want to get my attention here in the hero. Kick me something back.
We need to look the logo, because probably that red, that color red is the same as the logo, so they want to keep the corporate color, maybe. I don't know.
Well, that brings up a really good question.
All the other packages with the red logo.
Yeah, but that brings up a really good question. I think a lot of Amazon brands, and by Amazon brands I mean they're not already in a whole bunch of stores. They launched on Amazon and 80% of their business is Amazon, make a huge mistake. The reason why they're keeping this red is because that's how their products all have red, and that's what brands do. The reason Quaker Oats and all these other companies do that is because they were on traditional brick and mortar store shelves, right? They didn't need to stop the scroll, right? The people that were going there didn't really have any options. There wasn't a wall of different oatmeals that they could get. So they need to be up, yep, that's the one, that's the one. It looks just like the one I saw over here. But you know how many sales Prana would lose if they changed that to blue? Nothing. They actually might increase it. They actually might increase their sales because they'd stop the scroll. That's your only job. Someone's not walking into Publix to buy this right now. They're scrolling at 60,000 frames per second, damn near.
Is that Dimitri's product?
No, he wishes.
I'm confused.
Yeah.
Okay. It says organic overnight chia with oats,
Yep.
ready to eat breakfast.
Yep.
That doesn't, they're two different places in the daytime.
Okay, so overnight oats, I eat overnight oats. So for me, how you make overnight oats is you get a cup, add some oats, add whatever you want, add water, mix it. I do it with my finger. You're not supposed to be like this. You cap it and you set it in the fridge. You can do a whole week's worth. And then in the morning, if I eat them sometimes outside of the morning, but in the morning you come back and they've expanded. It looks like this disgusting, like gelatinous thing, but it tastes delicious. So they call it overnight oats because it sat there cooking in cold water in the cold overnight.
So how would I know that?
You wouldn't unless you ate overnight oats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless I knew that, and the chia part of the oats? But
No, chia they've added. Chia they added, I guess, it's a superfood that you can add. It actually works pretty well with oats, the consistency. But this is done for someone that they're not trying to convince people that and educate them on eating overnight oats here. I'm assuming they've done that somewhere else or somebody else has already led the charge. That's a pretty big thing in that world.
So a lot of people don't make, like you wouldn't make this in the morning and have to let it sit. Like, because you eat them.
Yeah.
If you made it in the morning.
It's not the same. I'd need to make it in the morning and maybe let it sit in the fridge for the day.
Oh, okay. All right.
But
Yeah.
So it takes all day, then.
Product, you wouldn't have to do that.
According to this product.
It's saying you wouldn't have to.
If you're looking at this and you've never eaten overnight oats, you're not buying this.
I eat that. Nobody makes oatmeal and eats it the next morning, do they?
Overnight oats.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
No, yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah, a
thing.
lot
Hey,
of
you know
people-
what?
a lot
I
of
challenge
people-
you on trying it. I still
Yeah.
do majority of my oatmeal the way we all, I think, do our oatmeal. But I had this kick for a while on overnight oats for more of a time thing. And I started figuring out a way to how to bake these egg omelet for the weeks to go. And I'd grab one of those and one overnight oat and I'd eat it on the way to the office.
No, I get it. I'm reading this, I'm like.
Yep.
Do you know what throws me
I
on?
thought you ate it before you went to bed.
Is the bird?
Well, that's what we're having for snacks next week. We're getting these prawns.
Canadian company. Some of them.
Somebody's product?
In here?
Dimitri.
No.
Nah.
It's a Canadian company.
No, it's nobody's.
They have to contact us at WOE so we can make their life better.
What throws me off is that, is the bird, the outside bird, part of the logo, because there's a bird inside also.
Both of these?
It's just two.
No.
It's 2 packs.
No, look
Oh,
at the
but
rock,
the
there's a
there's
bird
one.
there. There's a
Okay.
bird there. And then there's stars and strawberries and flowers. It's like a whole.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. It almost feels like this is their 4th of July version. You know what I mean? Like, this is their 25th anniversary. That's not what I'd imagine if they were just trying to go over the top and show all kinds of stuff. There's a lot. That's what I'm saying. He was showing us an example of, like, this is a lot. But look, most of you would want to be in their position. You're selling this for $29.99. They're making good money on this. Really,
Yeah.
really good money
That's good
on this.
margins. That's good margins.
Maybe they want you to let you know that they have a lot of strawberry shortcake. Maybe it's a lot of strawberry.
I think they accomplished that with this and this. That's a lot of strawberries to me.
Exactly.
It's a
Yeah.
better picture.
I
than
agree.
the other one.
There's also vanilla bean in the main packet. What? A few days I noticed.
Yeah.
You see it, right? Those brown things, that's vanilla bean.
This eats the brown seeds.
I thought they're
One,
chia.
which one?
That's not chia?
Which one?
In the main, on the packet.
This took us from our points. by
Yeah,
the way.
let's jump back into this. So what was the question initially?
What?
Kill the question, my friend.
No,
Thank you, Dimitri.
Like, how to show your, like, hero advantage, but not to overload the main image. Like, what you have to show, but not to show too much.
You need to show your product. In a lot of cases, if your packaging is worth showing, you want to show the packaging. You want people to see what they're getting. Like when you go into a store, there's so many things you take for granted when you buy something, that you can touch it, that you see it, that doesn't have a hole in it. You know, you might be able to see the expiration date, and you get to see that. You don't get any of that here. We don't consider that as an important thing in buying, but it is. So what are the things, what is the most you can do this way? You can show the packaging. You could show a very clear, this is what we're about. You know, overnight oats, strawberry shortcake, chia seed. Clear. Well, as clear as you can get with that much ingredients in it. And if the packaging doesn't have a viewing window in it, where you could see the contents inside, and sometimes if you can, show the product outside of the packaging. We're talking about food primarily because that's what you're talking about. If you sell, a friend of mine sells, one of the top sellers, it's not a Chinese seller, milk frother. He shows his milk frother. He shows the packaging of the milk frother beside it. He could have just showed the packaging that shows the milk frother on the packaging, but you want to give the impression that you're getting a lot. And if you take up only a tiny bit of space, because your image is tiny, it doesn't look like you're getting a lot. But if you size it up, someone's like, oh, I'm getting a lot for my money. So that's what you're trying to do. And anything that's in doubt that you think would be important for somebody to know to buy it, make it very obvious, preferably visually. Another good thing to do is to, in text form, add probably what their main search term was on the packaging. So that probably got surfed. If you search for strawberry shortcake, that's not coming up. If you search for chia seeds, that's not coming up. If you search for overnight oats, that's probably coming up. If you search for imagine if you search for chia seeds, what would come up?
Can you try it?
Yeah,
Let's see what happens.
Prana will come up.
chia seeds.
They will come up. I think this is their like reputation strategy. They actually do overnight oats, but with chia, but they claim it
See, that
as
makes
chia.
sense to me.
Yeah,
You add the chia, it's separated.
yeah. And like.
I think they would have a lot
chia-
more
chia-
reviews.
Chia pudding, if you put chia pudding.
See, if they
Seeds,
take out that.
oh no, with seeds, for sure, it will just raw chia seed.
Well, no one's gonna search for chia, because we're talking about chia pet, chia,
Pudding, chia pudding.
well, chia pudding, that's different. Now we're getting into chia pudding, and oatmeal is kind of like pudding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, but you search for chia, they're not coming up.
Yes, but
Or maybe.
If you search for,
In the page 4 or 5, maybe.
yeah, but, yeah, no, they'll come up at some point,
Yeah.
but they're not gonna be in the conversation, yeah.
Don't you think that because the keywords probably are so expensive?
So what would you say? Just-
Well, the keywords would be expensive, but there's also the intent of the search. So the average person that's searching for chia seeds is not looking for overnight oats with chia seeds. The majority of people are searching for that.
Are looking for that to go mix their own overnight?
Right. Otherwise, if you were looking for chia seeds for a different application, you would search for chia seeds and that application. If you were just window shopping and you didn't know if you wanted chia seeds, you might look for superfoods or seeds, healthy breakfast seeds. And that would be a very low intent search, but you'd probably stumble on chia seeds.
So if you put organic in there overnight, what was it, overnight?
You have organic strawberry shortcake, that's gotta be
If
good.
you put overnight,
expensive.
no, nobody looks like that. Do people search like that, overnight?
Oats?
So it'd be strawberry shortcake oats. That's how.
No. I think I imagine the search there, I don't think the average person knows that there's strawberry shortcake. Well, let's look, let me just look real quick, and then we gotta get back on, because I got like 12 more to share.
I'm
Tip
already.
number 2 out of 15.
I found some product that the picture do not match with the description.
So put it overnight oats.
Yeah.
Let's
So
see.
it's crazy, you know. It's,
Variety packs.
Who is here, overnight oats?
Those guys dominate.
Yep. Ultimate variety pack.
yeah.
And instead of selling it as a variation, they've, letting it,
Is this the same company?
yeah. Hold on, it's taking its time to load. Well, I don't want to waste a lot of time here. I'll let it load while we're doing our thing, but, I mean, we just saw here.
Wow.
And these, instead of rolling this into one variation, overnight vegan variety pack, party variety pack, they've just put them as standalone listings to take up a lot of real estate. It probably cost them a bunch of money in the beginning, but now they're happy with it.
Raking.
Yeah.
They're doing well.
Look, $44.
That's
Yeah.
the 6.6 days in the last 30 days?
No.
No, that's
Black
total
Friday.
reviews for that variation. But let's circle back to it. But what we're you wanna show the minimal amount necessary to let people know this is the product you're searching for. We cater to you in the situation that you're going through right now, and make them feel that they're getting the biggest bang for their buck possible, which is usually showing a lot, and that you're not the only one who's ever bought from us, which is where reviews come in.
Yeah, no problem.
Well, if you have no reviews, then that's the whole struggle of no reviews. There's other things you can do, like viral on TikTok. That's a as seen on TikTok. 1 million happy customers. You know what I mean? Like social signals saying that other people have. Like that's what you're trying to do. That's it. For some products, that's more or less that's necessary. For supplements, it's probably the really gorgeous image of the supplement and what's inside the bottle they're getting. That's it. For beauty, it's probably the product, and if it's a cream, it's a smear. If it's a gel, it's a gel, and you're showing what's inside that. If the gel is a hydrating gel, you want to show water or aloe vera. Or you're going to show something. You're going to show something that communicates hydration. You know that's it.
You need to understand your customer, your target audience. I think if you understand your target audience, you can target them better. If I understand that you like bikes and you like these stuff, I'm gonna show you a product next to a bike, something like that.
And it might work. Free,
They are on Amazon, you don't need to tell them that, they know already that they have 30 days
have
return.
to, not all the products, but most of the products, they have a free return. So people use risk, say, okay, it's better than I like return.
It's getting,
Yeah. All right, Dimitri, you're not allowed to ask any more questions. Number 4 in section 1 is I have vertical video shorts. I think you should be getting these influencer videos, which in the community like this that we're in, that everyone around you, most of us are in the Amazon influencer program, except Ting. Sorry, Ting. You should just reach out to one of us here and say, here's my product. Just give me a quick review saying X from the Amazon influencer program. You want to get those vertical. I'm seeing that while having some videos helps, having vertical videos helps a lot more. I have to think it's what I call the TikTok effect, and it just makes you look more current, or this is trending, you want to get this now. But get those Amazon influencers to record vertical videos. There's an excellent chance in this group that would cost you nothing but the cost of your product, because I doubt the people in the group are actually going to charge you to do the videos and post it as the Amazon influencer program, especially knowing that since you're part of the group, the likelihood of you getting consistent sales is higher, and you're going to actually be making some money off those sales because your video's there. So I'll go through that one pretty fast. One other thing to add on that one, when you're reaching out to some of these influencers here to do that, just in some cases, like if you want to go to me, I'm probably going to ask my wife to do it, or somebody on the team, and you're like, we need an unboxing one. Rather than you go and pay a bunch of money to some video service to get an unboxing video done for you, or you create one that's a bad, like if you're a brand and you're gonna create a brand video, people expect a standard that's kind of up here, that it looks like a really sharp, good brand video. When you get UGC videos, everyone expects the UGC videos to be like UGC videos. But if you can get an Amazon influencer to create a UGC video doing an unboxing, and they agree to give you the video, you can now use that UGC video and just put it as one of our customers sent us an amazing unboxing video we wanted to share with you. It lets you off the hook in needing to pay for this high quality brand video that's just showing an unboxing, and it gives more visibility to the UGC creator and the commissions that they can make as an Amazon influencer. The other really good thing to do with that is some of those influencer videos that you're going to get, you want to put them together, and AI does a great job of this. They can stitch them together into one montage-like video that's showing everybody getting their packaging, opening it, being happy, giving a compliment. You put that together into one longer video, and that's a great sponsored brand video that costs you nothing, of real people using your products that you use on Amazon. And when someone sees that, and then they click on it and they go to your product, and they see somebody from that video again on that listing, it's just a feedback loop, like, oh yeah, this is the right person, oh my God, this is for real, this is that person, they really did create it. So it does good for conversions. And you can have all that done for your launch, because you've had samples and you've been reaching out to these UGC creators before your launch. So this is stuff that you could have on your listing on day one. All right, the last one for the visual conversion section is lifestyle shots. Lifestyle. People buy products because they want, they see better versions of themselves in that product. Does that make sense? And you need to show that in the listing so that you can get them to emotionally connect and buy. When you have a listing, and I've seen a lot of really good listings that just have no lifestyle stuff, they're leaving so much money on the table by doing that. This is one of those areas. I don't think you should get an AI person to create a video saying that their skin cleared up because of this serum. Even though that's working really well right now. I think the consumer agencies are going to crack down on that. I think it's bad. But this is one of those areas that you can get, like I saw this one recently and it was showing a very big truck with a lot of grime on it, that it was, the video was done really good in the sense of, you would imagine that only a big dude, big guy would be able to wash this truck. And the AI got like the tiniest, I'd say almost petite woman out there with this very compact thing that held soap, but also powered and converted your hose into like this pressure washing beast. Shows how easy, she just clicks it on, does it, clicks it together, puts it away. It was super light, carried it back to the house, no problem. Those sort of things can be created with AI and would make great lifestyle-like photos. So I think you should. So nowadays, the excuse used to be the budget to get a bunch of real people together to do these shoots. There's no excuse for that anymore. Like, you need to have lifestyle. Lifestyle is super important in your images for conversions, and now they're pretty much free. Nano Banana does a fantastic job of that. So, any questions on that before we go to the next section? I'm going to try to go a little faster through these since it's 3:15 already. This next one is the AI and semantics. Rufus. I gave some examples here. When you're writing your titles, there's a lot of people out there that say that you need to write for the algorithm and it's all about keyword indexing and all this stuff here. I think you can still get away with that for a while, but Rufus is really changing the way, just AI shopping, these shopping bots and stuff like that. It's really disrupting the way people are going about and shopping. And Rufus works better with sentences, full, complete, clear sentences, conversational prompts. And when you have this keyword stuffed sentence, even though someone could read it and, using a lot of context clues, fill in what you're trying to say, Rufus doesn't work best like that. So an example I have here is a listing that's like heavy on the algorithm that would be for hiking boots, would be like hiking boots, waterproof, muddy trails, great for, and it'd be like that. Rufus wants to see, our waterproof hiking boots are perfect for muddy trails. That's gold for Rufus. That's just how you would normally speak about what your product is about. I think and I call those semantic keywords. I think you should do a lot more of that with your listings, especially on day one. And this is based off a real search that we did. When you use something like, our waterproof hiking boots are perfect for muddy trails, it allows the AI to now recommend your product when somebody was to ask, what are the best boots for a rainy hike in Oregon? So it can go back and be like, waterproof hiking boots are perfect for muddy trails. So it puts all that together and it clearly serves you up. That's what you want to be doing. Any questions on that?
What is Rufus?
Oof.
Oh, it's a loaded one? Okay.
No. It's not a Dimitri loaded one, but it's a. Where's Rufus?
Search a keyword.
Shouldn't they go to the bottom, right? You get it up from the keyword?
Boneless couch, for example, or whatever. It pops up on the left.
Yeah, usually it pops up on the left.
Yeah, for some reason.
Yeah, at the bottom.
Rufus is basically
Where
an
that-
AI
where that little- where that little
for
orange thing
an
is.
AI
Isn't that it?
agent that
No,
helps you.
that's Alibaba.
Sorry, yeah. Basically to kind of help you make a quicker decision on what you want.
Like ChatGPT for Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
No, this orange one right here, this is,
No, I didn't, I just remember on mine, it's always.
I know where it's on mobile.
see, I can go like this. So anything you're searching for, that's an Alibaba extension that I use a lot. Anywhere you're at on the web, you could just circle it, and it uses its AI and DeepSeek, and it'll pull it in, and then it'll go take you to exactly where you'll be able to get suppliers that can make something like that. Would anybody be interested in like a full Alibaba-like session on like how to really use Alibaba? All right. It's called Alibaba Lens, just so you know.
I use it more to find companies.
Lens?
Companies,
Ah.
like manufacturers. This is what I use more, Alibaba. But there is another website. It's China,
Made in China.
Made in China. That one is also good to find manufacturers in China.
When talking about the search term, the optimization, how much you do it for Rufus, but not compromising the regular algorithm?
You're not gonna like my answer. Is your product success 100% dependent on Amazon PPC? Well, if it depends, if it's also reliant on external traffic, and I know I'm gonna get beat up so bad for this, but I'm not a pro of doing all that keyword stuffing, period. I don't think it's a balance. I go in the complete opposite direction. Now, if I was selling a commodity high Me Too product and my only lever that I could throw is Amazon PPC, that would force me. First of all, I think I'd be at a major disadvantage already. And now it's a matter of just doing damage control. My damage control would force me to look into review hacks and a whole bunch of different areas that I don't want to play, but one of them would be introducing a heavy amount of, the majority of my conversation then would probably be keyword indexing. And am I indexing for, but there's no need to do that unless a whole bunch of steps were unless a whole bunch of incorrect steps were taken in the product selection process. Yeah, so it just depends. I don't see any disadvantage in doing that, because by doing this, you're not excluding any of your keywords. As a matter of fact, we started this with prioritize your main USP, which is going to be your main keywords in a mobile-friendly title within the first 80 characters, and that's going to be the heaviest weight anyway. Yeah. Thank God Ramon's not here today, because Ramon would be like, oh, he says, I'm interested in an Alibaba session too. All right, yeah, I'll totally do. I'll do an Alibaba session. I think with all of the tariffs and everything, and all the tariff talk and how high that's been, I've kind of been like, I don't know what everyone's appetite is for Alibaba. Okay, A+ content, alt text.
Wasn't Alibaba telling you, I just bought something from it, it says shipped in the US. It's already here.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. There's a lot of Alibaba products that are already in the US waiting to get, and it's a filter you could actually do. But if you're gonna customize the product and not have a commodity Me Too product, then, and I think it's worth the wait to do that, right? But if you have a newsletter of a whole bunch of people that want, if you have a newsletter for runners and you realize that of my 40,000 runners, 5,000 of them have run at night with their dogs, then an Alibaba run for some glow-in-the-dark dog collars or leashes seems like a really easy play to make. And if it's available in the US, I would just take advantage. So it
Well,
depends.
you can definitely get yourself jump started.
Yeah. Alt text for your A+ content. I showed you what the A+ content was earlier, and those are those graphics at the bottom. When you put that in, you get to add text on the back end of that. It is very debatable whether those keywords allow you to also index for those keywords on Amazon. I have seen listings on the same account do both. Not index on Amazon and index on Amazon. So I don't know what goes into what does and what doesn't, but what I can say is 100% of the time, that's what indexes you on Google. So remember, Amazon is the largest product search engine in the world, but that other 50% roughly, they still shop on Google. Or they still search on Google to find the product to buy. The keywords you put in the back end of your A+ content, that is what it's going to allow them to do that. How impactful is that going to be in your first few weeks of launch? And no one's ever heard of you? Probably not. But if you're launching, this is the 6th product in your line on this brand, and people are kind of searching for you anyway, it's an excellent way to show your new release that people might be looking for. Intent-based search terms. I think this is what we were, I think we broke this one down enough between window shoppers or low intent-based search terms and high intent-based search terms. Floor cleaning products versus broomsticks for lefties, totally different. One of them, the latter is a lefty who wants to buy, and the other one is just, I'm on the market. Seeded Q&A for SEO. I still love doing this. It's a little more complicated now with Rufus in the picture, but you can go in there and load your own questions and answer them by way of FAQs on your product listing. To date, there is not a rule that prohibits you from doing this. I've never been the one that goes in there and asks my own question and answers them, but I'll have somebody else that I know. The hardest part of that used to be what questions should get asked, and you have to write out all those questions and you have to write out all those answers. That is now a 2-minute exercise with the AI of your choice. And I suggest you do that because that not only does that help Rufus, but it also helps people really make conversions when they go in there and they ask questions on the listing. And whether it's Rufus answering it or they're being served up those answers, it's important that it gets answered. The other thing that a lot of people don't know, and this is another great use for Amazon influencer user-generated content, is when in the FAQ section, you can answer with a video, right? Amazon's rules regarding AI for those answers is not really clear. I'm leaning towards they're not okay with a fake person answering, but you totally can say, okay, I'm gonna go out there and ask these 100 questions. Here are the 100 answers I'm gonna give, and here are the ones that I think would be best supported with a video, and then have a family member, a friend, somebody else in the group in exchange for a product. Can you create these quick little videos answering this, vertical, and then upload them as answers in your frequently asked questions section? They're great for indexing. Whatever you say in the video indexes. So, okay, that was number 10. Now it's making me think, wow, I probably should have stuck at 10, right? You're in, okay, I'll read back what I got. Oh, you're in. The last section, we have 5 more, is the brand trust layer. Premium A+ modules. What that pretty much means now is you have A+ content and now you have shoppable A+ content. Try to get that shoppable A+ content. Try to get that shoppable A+ content installed as quickly as possible. And what that looks like is you're going to see A+ content, and when you hover over certain things, little dots are going to appear. So if I took a picture, the camera, the mic, the tablet, the helmet, all these, the purse, everything would have little dots. I'd be like, oh yeah, what's that? And I hover and it could take me right to the product detail page to be able to buy that product. So those would be more shoppable A+ pages. You want to be doing that. We are moving more towards shoppable social selling. So I'm loving that Amazon's doing this. Interactive comparison tables. This is great for, I'd say, playing offense and defense for your listing. When you put in a comparison table, Amazon will now no longer be able to use that section to show your competitors. So take a second and add that just for the purpose of your competitors not being able to show up in that area on your listing by way of ads.
Does it change the way you look at the competitors?
Sorry?
Does it change the way you look at competitors? If you're adding the competitors to your listing, there's obviously a lot of people in each category.
No, so if you take up if you don't put anything in that section for the comparison section, Amazon will fill it.
Right.
Right.
That's one of the A+ content.
In the A+ section, yeah, but if you add that, there's nothing to be filled except what you have. Now in your comparison table, you want to compare your product against other products you have. I don't care if you need to create a multi-pack of whatever you're selling. Create multi-packs and just take up that section and don't have your listing. The likelihood, Amazon says that A+ content increases your conversion by 3 to 5%. I think that's true, but it's misleading. I think it's something more like, I think it's 5%, but I think it's 95% of people don't go to A+ content, but the ones that do convert at 5%. But it's like most people don't go to the A+ content, and that percentage only comes from the ones that do. Still super important to have. Like any conversion will help. But anybody that's gone that far down the rabbit hole of your listing, they're unsure. Let's not let them see your competitors.
Also, does not the A+ content show nicer on the mobile when you?
Shows a lot nicer on the mobile. Yeah. Your brand story carousel, I won't spend a lot on that, but we covered that. Nowadays, there's a push for brands it's usually the brand owner, to take the time to do personal branding for themselves, because that personal touch is not the corporate one, and they want to relate more to the brand. So if Juan decided to start doing some personal branding, the personal branding and the stuff that he talks about is indirectly related to the products he sells, but it allows people to personalize or humanize Juan as not just this Fortune 500, yacht going, I don't care about people person, and people want to connect with that. Like this generation, a lot more people are starting to want to buy products where they can connect with the person. This is where you put that story. We're a small mom and pop from, I started doing this because I couldn't afford to do X when I was like, you want to put your why in that area. It does work. That's also the section where you're going to see stuff like minority owned, woman-owned business, and a lot of those other cool things that you can get if you qualify. So get them.
Can you put kids in your videos on Amazon?
Kids, yes, but
Depending on the product.
yeah, you
The
can't.
TikTok stuff did. Like, I had one for the gift boxes and TikTok told me like I
Was it makeup?
So even if it's a toy or something for
You
kids.
know, they were just saying about the gift box for dad, and TikTok said I was breaking their policy. But
Oh.
TikTok has changed a whole lot in the past.
So they usually only remove kids from videos, or the videos when a kid's in it, if, in some cases, if an adult never shows up anywhere in the video at any point, or it doesn't seem apparent that an adult was present for the video. Like for example, if you're shooting a video that's POV and you're talking, but it's your daughter, it's very obvious that there was an adult that was there. The second reason why they sometimes get rid of them, I don't even want to say something like this, but has to do with the amount of skin being shown. So if someone was wearing something that was completely appropriate, but maybe had a strap and there was too much shoulder showing, the knee-jerk reaction from the bots is nah. Like you ain't gonna get away with a bathing suit, period. You're not gonna do all that, and that's for, unfortunately, the world we live in. It's kind of a necessary thing, because you have people hitting pause, The other one that I've seen sometimes, and that I'm wondering, did the product, when you do it, have the massage gun in it? Because that massage gun looks identical to other products in the adult novelty, and if that bot wouldn't know the difference. That bot would see the massage gun, and the bot would see a kid, and the bot would hit it immediately. I know that because we used to be the main reseller for a brand called Hitachi, and Hitachi sold this massage that says massage head on the end, but it also became a very popular adult product that was used. And when we did videos, some of the videos might have like, you know, the dad wants the son or the daughter to give the massage on the back. Totally don't look at me like, totally tasteful video, but it got flagged. We're like, what's going on?
No, so they said in their policy that I was breaking because kids are promoting a product that's for sale.
Oh, well, I don't know. I'd have to look at it and see what's said. I'm sure you could get around it, and if we looked at it, we'd be able to see. But there's plenty of videos out there that have kids, like every toy product.
Yeah.
I mean, Vlad and Nikki show you that kids can be on videos. Like,
But TikTok has also changed very recently, right? Like they don't want you promoting to go buy it on Amazon or to buy it on Walmart, right? Like now it's where they want you to only sell on TikTok Shop. So they have, I don't know if it's with the new ownership, but they have changed quite a bit.
the algorithm has changed a lot, that's for sure. While we're on the thing of TikTok, anybody that's towards the beginner stage, just looking to make a couple bucks on the side, when we were going live on TikTok, it was very easy to make like 50 to 100 bucks a day, just talking about nonsense. Like,
But you can only go live if you have at least 1,000 followers.
but there's a bazillion ways around that. There's a bazillion ways around that. If you go live for 30 minutes, they'd approve live for you a lot easier than they would me.
But I can't get live if I don't have 1,000 followers, is what I'm saying.
Yes, you have to post. Well, I can show you, I have my Real Carlos Alvarez TikTok, which is much bigger, but I created another TikTok, which is called Wizards of Ecom, and it was just for the purposes of streaming these but we stopped doing the TikTok streams. And it didn't have the 1,000 followers. What we had to do is you just post twice, and you need to get X amount of views on those posts, which is a fairly easy thing to do, and then you can go live. You don't need 1,000.
I guess I'll come to you for that.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to do it. A friend of mine who also works for me, she was going live with somebody else, and they're both like in the fitness space, and they'd ask fitness questions, and whoever got the most wrong at the end had to break an egg on their head live. At the end of it, I think they brought in like $1,000.
Wow.
And I was like, I'll break any. How many eggs I would have broke over my head in the beginning?
$1,000? Yeah.
$1,000, $500.
I'd put the chicken on my head.
Let the chicken lay an egg on your head.
So my question was, can you put kids on Amazon and videos?
You can put kids, yeah. This is another one that's a little debatable, multi-language. We still manually insert. You sell in the US, it's pretty obvious what the top 3 languages are. Right. In our case, mostly what we do is we manually insert what we know are main search terms in Spanish. It works. It works good. I think you should do it. I wouldn't rely on Amazon's auto-translate.
It's a must.
Yeah. Last one, this is an easy one, strike-through pricing. It's just pure buying psychology. Like put your intended selling price high and then sell it for less so you get that strike-through. Try to maintain that. Some people spend a lot of time just trying to fake it to get the strike-through back. We buy stuff if it has a strike-through. You want to think you're getting a deal. That strike-through does a really good job of communicating that. So try to maintain that strike-through. That's it. And the easiest time to do it is at launch. Like, it should be selling for this. I'm selling it for this. If you're not doing that, you're just not paying attention. That was 15. Thank you, Dimitri. We had to rush through the last few. No, that was good, though. I think we had a good aside. Next week, I just blanked on what our title is for our event next week, but it is going to be really good. And we're going to hang out a little bit afterwards and do some networking. If you're able to stay, we can stay and just talk shop a little bit. Was there any questions on the stream?
Next week is validating your next profitable private label.
Oh, we're going to go about how to validate the product that you decide to go with. Like, what's a green light to go? What should just say no?
I want to tell you, your notification sound on the app is one of the best sounds I ever got.
It's the Star Wars one?
My goodness, each time I hear it, I'm like, dude, I want this notification sound for me.
Yeah, which one, is it R2D2 or Chewbacca?
I don't know the name.
It's R2D2.
My goodness, it's,
So if you have the Wizards of Ecom app, when we do a push notification for a meetup coming out, we got to pick.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, they're all gonna be stupid. And then I got down to, there's a section called Star Wars. So the boop, boop, boop thing that you hear is R2D2. But download the app too, by the way.
What is the name?
Wizards of Ecom.
I'm sorry.
Wizards of Ecom.
if I'm ever around people and they hear the sound, everybody turns. Like, you know the sound of Apple, you know the sound of different applications,
Yeah.
but this one beats it all.
Yeah, I was between that one and Chewbacca, but the Chewbacca one was a little alarming.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you imagine like 1 a.m.?
Somebody's
I
puking.
was like, I think this is gonna get us,
Somebody's puking.
I think we're gonna get people to like undownload the app. All right, thank you, everybody.
Nothing to announce.
I will do that Alibaba session too.